And you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
We expect our information in real time. U.S. Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. U.S. Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Oh, look at this. It's Monday. It's Bart and Carlin. Formerly, it is Carlin on ESPN with Dan Grassa on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Listen, it's going to take a little time, all right? It's going to take a little time. Still is stinging a bit. How are you?
Hi.
What's going on, bud?
Good. Seamless commute into the city today, 45 minutes tops. That included a stop off for breakfast, so we talked a lot about that. How's the drive going to be? How's that battle?
Yeah.
No issues while the kiddies are not in school, which is fantastic. And, we had a chance to commiserate before the show for a couple hours, tell some jokes, revisit some sitcoms from the 80s, and here we go.
There's so much to get to today, and I'm excited that you're here because we've got a lot this week with the opening of camps. Obviously, with everything going on with the baseball leading up to the deadline, which is the 3rd, coming up soon. And then, LeBron to the Sixers, which happens late in the show or during the show on Friday while I was out. And we've got a lot to get to in relation to what's going on there. And the 80s sitcom thing, the fact that you spent what probably felt like a good 15 minutes this morning bothered by the opening credit sequence of the Hogan family.
That's correct.
Of the late 80s into the early 90s, which, by the way, was on for 6 seasons.
Yeah.
The Hogan family on for 6 seasons. But you're bothered by an opening credit sequence, and it still bothers you to this day to the point where let me make sure I bring this up first thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was off the air. I came in because I know that that's also in your wheelhouse, sort of.
Yes.
So I figure,
accurate.
You're the guy to run this by.
Right.
And you kind of agreed.
Yes.
You kind of agreed with me.
Yeah, well, listen, the point of it was that Jason Bateman did not look like, as he scored a goal in the hockey in the opening sequence and then skated toward the screen to smile as they put Jason Bateman up across the bottom of the screen, did not exactly look like he was busting it in a game and didn't have a helmet on.
Didn't have a helmet on like he was Gay LaFleur and did not have a bead of sweat on his forehead, his brow, nothing. And how about this? Even as I'm talking, I'm thinking about it again. Scores a goal.
Yeah.
Is there a teammate on the ice that's even going to think to go over and maybe join in the celebration with him?
Well, maybe that tells you something about his relationship with the teammates. Me
player.
Or maybe it's like a draft day situation with that quarterback and nobody went to his birthday party.
That's exactly what it is.
Speaking of which, and this has nothing to speak of which with that, I don't know why I said speaking of which, the Yankees last night get bombed by the Phillies, but the bigger issue is not necessarily that. They obviously had won a few in a row. The Phillies were not playing particularly well. But the bigger issue now is that Bellinger is on the IL. And listen, I was of the opinion that even without Judge, that had they done a couple of things at the deadline, they were still capable of, if they didn't have Judge in the postseason, still capable of winning the American League. And that says a lot more about the league than anything else. Right now, you're up the creek leading to the deadline this coming week in a big way.
No, totally are. I mean, and look, you won a series against Philadelphia, which is good, right? You take that, to me, that's why last night's game was kind of house money. Now, you don't want to give up 11 runs, but still, the way they won those first 2 games, you know that it's not sustainable. Like, big picture, it's not. But that right now is how the Yankees have to beat teams. You win a 1-0 and a 3-1 game, you're not going to beat teams by scoring 4 runs over 18 innings. Like, that's just not going to happen. But the way this offense is situated right now, throw on top of that, as you said, you're missing Bellinger for the foreseeable future. Brian Cashman's got a lot of work to do between now and next Monday, and I know that we're going to be all over it here for the next week, but there are moves to be made in a big, big way here because this offense ain't good enough right now.
And there's a little thing that happened over the weekend that's not such a little thing that has made it infinitely more difficult to me. And that is out in Oakland, Sacramento, Shea Langoliers goes down for the rest of the season. One of the offensive catchers that had been talked about as a possibility for the Yankees. And then now, as we discussed that, the market is shrinking. And exactly where are they going to get better offensively without giving up an absolute fortune? And, Dan, I don't know if you and I talked about this. This is very much, to me, the way things shape up in the division or in the league. You can't waste this opportunity.
No.
This is very much like the Knicks. Like when you looked at the Knicks in the Eastern Conference, once you got along in the playoffs and you understood what happened with the Celtics and the Sixers, this was not any longer we can make it to the conference finals and maybe we'll still be okay. This is now we have to get to the World Series and then take our shot and hope for the best that you can catch the Dodgers and maybe outpitch them.
Catching market gets dwindled a little bit here, but I tell you, the Langoliers injury, it's unfortunate for him, but guess what it does, I think? It makes the Mets a little bit more of an attractive trade partner. That's what it does. Because guess what? They've got not one but two catchers who I think could be had. And look, for Francisco Alvarez, maybe a Met fan has more ties to him than I do where I'm sitting right now. Did you watch the game even on Saturday night? I mean, if your catcher can't even catch, which literally leads to a run being scored when the ball pops out of his glove, he's a horrible defensive catcher. I think he's lazy behind the plate. He's never in good shape. He's always hurt. It's so few and far between. But the fact that he's young and he has the quote-unquote upside, if he's going to fetch you something possibly pretty good in return, I don't know how you don't listen if you're the Mets.
You really did a great sales job right there on him.
I mean, he makes a mean Venezuelan lasagna for those that are real ones that know that. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, he really and truly, and look, you've got Terrence. You signed him to an extension. He's on the club already for next year. There are worse things in the world if you go into, I mean, nobody has a luxury at catcher anymore. It's not 1990. You know what I'm saying? Like, those days are gone. Usually, the catching position in baseball is like the goalie position in hockey now, where most teams have a two-headed monster in goal in the NHL. Most teams have a two-headed monster behind the plate. Right? And then you throw in, of course, with the DH, you get some guys out from behind the plate if you want to get their bat in the lineup. So if Alvarez is going to get you something good in return because he's got upside, if you're the Mets, you got to listen, man. You got to listen. And I think that market just exploded for you because of the Langoliers injury.
Well, there's no question that the Mets have to listen. And if you're the Mets and the Yankees want them, you're going to hope there are going to be other teams that are going to want catching. And it doesn't just help the Mets with the Yankees. It helps them in general there.
Right.
If the Yankees are going to inquire on him, they're paying a Yankee tax. And it's not to the extent of Mikal Bridges of 5 first-round picks that it was, because I absolutely believe that was a Nets tax that the Knicks had to pay when they traded for him. But you're going to have to give a little bit more than somebody else in order to get him. So here's my point. The market is shrinking by the moment for Brian Cashman, and for somebody that does, I do think there is an added urgency to what he wanted to do, but does that start to shrink now that you lose Bellinger? It might only be a couple of weeks. I think the Yankees would sign for 3 weeks to a month in a heartbeat, but even so, does that take away any of your desire to maybe roll the dice with somebody you're giving away?
Ryan Jeffers is available possibly for the Twins, but I mean, a team like Minnesota, have they had that come to Jesus moment yet?
Who has had the come to Jesus moment in the entire major leagues now? There are really 6 teams that are awful,
and the Mets are one of them. Go figure, with a $380 million payroll. But Minnesota's a game under 500. Because I bring this up because they're in the same division with the Tigers, right? Tigers have that big decision with Tarek Skubal. That's the big white whale that's looming. Tigers are 6 under 500. They're 6 out of first place. I'm sorry that if you're the Tigers, you have to trade Skubal. You're losing him in the offseason regardless. You have to cash in for him now. That would be as egregious as what the Angels did by not trading Shohei Ohtani when everybody knew that he was going to be gone. You don't keep Tarek Skubal just to make the playoffs. The American League stinks. We can get in. No. That's not what this is about. You're only keeping Skubal if you think you can win a championship. They're not winning a championship, Chris. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows it. They have to trade Skubal. So if you're the Twins, why don't you move on from Jeffers? You're not making a deep run. I mean, when has Minnesota had even sort of any sort of October success? Even when they had better clubs than this. I'll tell you another guy that might be able to be had if you're the Yankees. On Minnesota. Right-handed bat. Money's involved. Buxton. Possibly.
Interesting.
You could get creative.
Yeah.
But I think the good news with Bellinger.
You're shifting guys all over the outfield then at that point, aren't you?
Sounds a little Metsy, isn't it?
I mean, a little bit.
But you don't have you have
They're
no.
putting Spencer Jones in left now, and they're going to keep Dominguez in right for the foreseeable future.
But you don't trust Dominguez. That's the problem. He hasn't proven that he deserves it. Here's the thing, though, with the uncertainty.
But you're
Judge,
right. It sounds Metsy.
It sounds Metsy. Bellinger, the good news is he said that he woke up yesterday not feeling any worse, which is good. And he was even doing some, I heard them say he was doing some light agility work on the field before the game yesterday, which is a good sign. Because if you're like laid up and you're on the shelf for a month or whatever, like you're going to be stationary and not doing anything. Maybe he comes back sooner than later. But the bottom line is they have to do something with this offense because it's just, I still think the Yankees can actually win the division without Aaron Judge. Can they win a championship without Aaron Judge? Absolutely not.
I think they can win the league without him. If they're not going to have Bellinger for an extended period, though. And by the way, it's not, I mean, I was sitting here last week saying that Bellinger wasn't getting enough blame for what had gone on because up until the last 10 games or so, he had really been bad for about a 2.5-month period.
He hadn't had a good season offensively.
The biggest impact he made, first of all, a month and a half got you into the All-Star game. That's one with Bellinger. And the biggest impact he has is a 2-run single in the All-Star game in the first inning.
Right.
That's the biggest impact that you have had as a player this season, and now he's gone. I can't watch Schumann play in the outfield and think I got a shot.
No. God bless Schumann, but he sounds like the name of a fictitious character in like a baseball movie.
Schumann.
You know what I mean? Bellinger's been good with the glove. He's valuable defensively.
Like the Yankees Newman.
Right. Schumann. But Bellinger's not been as effective this year with the bat, and that's what you're paying him for. I mean, yeah, you expect him to play a good outfield. You expect him to be versatile, whatever you need, run the bases, all that stuff, but you're paying him for his bat, and he hasn't delivered that consistently this year.
Is there a feeling to you that this is starting to slip away? Like the possibility of a postseason run for the Yankees?
No. I mean, like they're still winning games. I mean, what if they won 10 out of 14 or something like that? So despite the fact that we think woe is me and they're scuffling and, you know, they had an ugly series against the Dodgers coming out of the break last week, which is to be expected. It's the Dodgers, right? But they still had a good week.
I feel like it's slipping away.
Well, when you say slipping away, what's slipping away?
The opportunity to go for to make any kind of a run this year in a bad year when it should be. And look, I don't know what they're going to do. If they get Jeffers and you get him on you probably have to overpay a little bit, but it's a rental. Great.
Ryan Jeffers is not like you're acquiring, when the Mets got Mike Piazza. It's not changing your franchise like that. He is
he's helping.
A help.
He's helping.
He's a help.
But it feels like if you don't have Judge until mid to late September, I don't know how long it's going to take him to get back into the swing, so to speak. If I'm going to go without Bellinger for a while, and then when he is back, I'm kind of relying on him, God knows what with Stanton. It's not just when Stanton comes back, it's how many days a week can Stanton actually play, and that's just a DH. So that takes away a little bit of flexibility there. They're clearly not going to catch Ben Rice. That's not happening. So when I say it's slipping away, I'm not talking about getting to the playoffs or winning the division. Those are all in play. I'm talking about this is a golden opportunity in a bad season for the league for a team that has not exactly taken advantage of opportunities to go and win one in the last 15 years, 17 years.
No, you're right. But here's the thing. The market is not very attractive from an offensive standpoint, like of bats to be had, right? There's not.
No.
Unless something just shocks the you-know-what out of us, which would be cool.
What could happen is it is so bizarre that the game now is so predicated on analytics and large sample sizes, yet massive decisions this week are going to be made based on the next 3 to 4 games.
100%, which is crazy, right? It's so shrunken down to a small sample size. But I threw this alternative out there the other day. If you're not going to be able to go out there and get a difference-making bat or bats if you're the Yankees, okay, you're going to hold on to that hope the Judge is going to be back at some point. Why don't you then pivot and go out there and just load up on arms? You know what I'm saying? Add more bullpen pieces. If there's another starting pitcher you think that's going to help you.
See, I've made this argument, and I was with you up until about the middle of last week. Because then, if you can't score 2 runs, this is ultimately what's going to hold them back in the playoffs. They can pitch amazingly well.
Right.
And I have every faith in that. And I would have even talked about, why not just get Skubal and then throw another guy and move, not Rodon necessarily, but Will Warren into the pen. I mean, it was no mistaking last week Will Warren came in and pitched in the 9th inning in a game. That was not an accident. Anyway, my point is, deep in everything you have. I agree. You got to score 2 runs.
No, look, it's
what kind of faith do I have they're going to do that?
You're not going to beat anybody, right? You're not going to beat anybody with this offense. And isn't it amazing, the contrast from what Yankee baseball used to be for so long? It used to be club teams to death during the regular season. The heck with the pitching. Our offense is too good, right? The heck with it. We're just going to outscore everybody, outslug everybody. And then we get to the playoffs, and then what would happen? They'd run into good pitching, and all the home runs that they would hit during the regular season, they would dry up in October. And they wouldn't have the necessary pitching, at least from a starting staff, to be able to compete, and that's why they would have these premature exits. What about, the name that's out there? If they could somehow swing a deal for Mason Miller. Again, it's not offense.
Yeah.
But it's also something that not helps you now. It helps you for 3 more years after this because he's under control. The best closer in baseball. that is a 9th inning weapon. Bednar then becomes your 8th inning guy. And I say the same thing for the Mets too. If there is a way, a prayer, whatever that you could call up because the Padres farm system is depleted with all these moves that AJ Preller has made over the last 3-4 years to try to go for it. Their farm system, which used to be as fertile as any in baseball, now is bottom of the barrel. They need to recoup their system. They also need major league ready starting pitching because they have none of it. If there is a 4 or 5 player package that you can maybe satisfy to them to get your hands on Mason Miller, and a lot of teams are going to be putting forward the presentation, it also helps you down the road. That's why I would make an exception to maybe bypass the offensive need to go get the damn help at the back end because he's such a valuable weapon.
When you have opportunities to get dominant players at positions, even if it's going to cost more, that's where you have to do it.
You don't discriminate.
That would have been my selling point on Skubal, and it's absolutely my selling point on Miller. Now, we know what Miller's going to cost. Miller's going to cost Lombard plus.
Definitely Spencer Jones.
Probably Spencer Jones and Will Warren.
Even though Will Warren's been trending in the wrong direction, but Will Warren absolutely. They don't want.
But
Weathers.
I still think they think Will Warren's a decent.
Oh yeah, there's upside. I mean, you're willing to maybe sell on Clark Schmidt, even though he's coming back from an injury, but the return is going to be here at some point. Guys like that and another young player in your system. Maybe you take that, and that'll satisfy them, depending on what other offers that they're going to have to stack up against.
The point is, it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
And they've worked with them before, obviously, on the Soto deal. Preller and Cashman have a good relationship. Dan, I'm not against it. I'm not against that at all.
And like I said, even if you're the Mets going nowhere this year, if that is a move that could be had, you do it. Because you want Devin Williams as your closer for the next however many years?
I guess the only thing I keep coming back to is maybe it's unfair that I'm operating under this assumption. But I'm operating under the assumption that if I have Judge back, it's not he's been playing for a month and he's, full bore and everything's perfect.
Right.
So who am I relying on then offensively? Who is scaring me? Ben Rice is scaring me, but who else is scaring me at that point? Chisholm can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but I don't trust him to not make a dumb mistake in a bad situation. Who scares you in the lineup then at that point where they just can't be pitched to?
Ben Rice, there's a lot of wind out of his sail, too, not having Aaron Judge, obviously.
Yeah.
He's been good, but he's not been as MVP good like he was the first 3 months of the season. And that, look, the results speak for themselves. We were talking about it before the show. Last night in that game, was it the second inning, the third inning, whatever it was, when Philadelphia exploded, when Bohm had that big hit to clear the bases and drive it. So it was the third inning.
Yeah.
The score was 2-0 at that point. Bases were jammed. One of the announcers in that NBC broadcast said, "This is the game right here." And it's very rare you're going to hear that in a baseball game, that a third inning at bat is the game. But he was so spot on. He said, "This is the game right here." And what happens? Bohm clears the bases. It's 5-0 Philly. And you know, and everybody knows that's been watching the Yankees, there's no way they're scoring 5 runs.
Nope.
And that was the game.
Yep. It absolutely was. Even at 6-0, I was sitting and watching the game with my nephew. He's like, "Oh, it's starting to come back." I'm like, sit tight. This is not going where you think it's going.
It's over.
This is not going where you think it's going at all. And even though it was Sanchez, and I give him credit for getting, 4 runs off Sanchez to begin with, still, I have zero faith in it, and that is what brings me back to it all. Yeah, I'm all for Mason Miller. Yeah, I want to try to go all in and be completely dominant in one spot and outpitch everybody else. I just have to have some belief in a couple of guys here to be able to deliver when I need it the most. And we haven't even talked about the elephant in the room yet, in that Judge started to hit in the playoffs last year, but still never really has enough to where it's made a difference for them in going a long way.
And I wonder, it's impossible to predict, but let's assume that he comes back in September at some point. Could we sit there and hang our hats on the fact that, hey, Judge missed all this time, he's going to be fresh as a daisy come September, October? And maybe that's going to fuel his performance and his production. You don't know, right? It's not that they're out there running track to where you say, like, his legs are fresh, but the fact that that's a lot less swings that he's had on the body, like the dog days of summer, he hasn't had to deal with that. So that's what I would bank my hat on, bank my everything on if I'm a Yankee fan, saying I'm going to get a healthier Judge, a fresher Judge at this stage of his career. The other thing is this. When you look at the landscape of the American League, let's just start in the American League East. Rays aren't going anywhere. You're going to have to duke it out with them the rest of the way, right? You only got them one more series in September. You're 3 back. Like, how viable a threat do you view the Red Sox right now? Because this run they've been on for the last, 2.5, 3 weeks, it's insane. To now where they're only 4 behind you in the loss column. And who knows if they already made a move over the weekend to try to bring in some pitching, a bat.
With the guy from the Nats.
With the guy from the Nats, right. Washington needs pitching. That's why they got Connolly early.
Mead brought in, yeah.
And he's a good player. He's got some pop. He's got some speed. But you don't know if they're done. What are they going to... They just got Ranger Suarez back from the shelf to help with their starting rotation here. So they got themselves back in a position. I don't know if they're going to be playing... what are they playing? 800 baseball over the next 2 months? That's unlikely.
They're always the teams that go on this kind of a run and put themselves right back in it. Usually it's an obscure team late in the year like we saw with the Tigers last year.
Right.
Right. I have no reason to think that the Red Sox are not going to be a wild card team right now.
There's 3 teams in the American League that are at least 5 games over 500. Yanks, Rays, and the White Sox. And the Yanks are playing the White Sox 1st to 4 tonight. That'll be a fun series. And then they go play the Cubs. That'll be another fun series. So a fun week for the Yankees. And it's interesting it's cool that these are the games that they have leading up to the deadline, because come next Monday, you're going to be looking potentially at a whole different squad. Well, you could say the same thing about a lot of other teams, right? So like you said, there could be a team lying in the weeds right now. We don't know. What if they go out there and they make a game-changing transaction between now and next Monday, and then they're off and running for the rest of the season,
I've got a couple ideas for this week that I want to run past you. It has struck me that, in particular, you're not there yet. I would say low to middle-aged white guys. There is nothing that we enjoy more.
What's a low to middle-aged white guy? I know what a white guy is, but what's a low to middle-aged version?
I'm 53.
Okay.
So I'm middle-aged. I would say low, 48.
It's
How
funny.
old are you? 45? What are you, 38? Are you 26?
I'm actually thinking. 46?
46. You're not there yet.
Yeah.
But you have an old soul.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
When it comes to that.
I still like to pop open the Britannica every so often. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, educate myself.
I think we're going to spend 5 minutes each day over the next few days.
5? Come on, you got to give me more than 5.
Maybe 10 of just naming random players from your wheelhouse of time. And what Ray's going to do
I could clear out a room with that nonsense.
What Ray's going to do is he will say, name as many 1996 Jets as you can. And Ray will then, so we will then go back and forth naming 1996 Jets until you get 3 strikes, until you name somebody that's not a 1996 Jet, or you can't.
Is that today's subject, the 96 Jets, or you're just using it as an example?
I just threw that out there. I'm going to let Ray, it's dealer's choice. I'm going to let him do it between.
But it doesn't have to be Jet, by the way. It could be any.
No, it could be Yankees. It could be Mets. It could be, listen, all of it's out there. Here's the thing. That's what sports guys do.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Ray, if you start popping up, 1996 members of the New York Liberty, I'm not going to do too well in that game. Full disclosure. And I don't know if Chris will either.
Teaspoon.
Was that the Radio City Liberty? Remember when they were playing games there?
Might have been.
On the stage?
It's Carlin. It's Grassa. ESPN New York. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. So the premise to begin with is centered around the Yankees. And do you feel like this is slipping away with these injuries that continue to come? And where is your concern level now that the deadline is coming this week? Even though they've won some games, to me, the regular season, like all of this, is just eyewash. It doesn't mean anything at this point. And I don't have the faith that when it matters in the postseason, that they're coming through with big hits at the moment.
Can I just say something real quick? I know we got a break.
You do what you have to do.
And I've had this thought many, many times over the last several days. Why it is such an obnoxiously late trade deadline? August 3rd. Like, it's not. And
is that Sunday or is that Monday?
That's next. We're going to be out at
Jet Camp.
The biggest trade known to man is probably going to happen when we're sitting there talking to Adonai Mitchell about, so what's it like in your first full season here? You know what I mean?
Take me back to Austin, Texas. Let's go.
Yeah,
Fill me in on the 22 season and what went wrong. Oh, by the way, the Mets just shipped Alvarez to the Yankees.
That's what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Again,
Adonai, your reaction.
A Monday. You know
Adonai Mitchell, I'm glad you're here. Your reaction.
And he's like, I like this offense. I like the quarterback.
What would be amazing if we just broke into a Will Ferrell-like response in old school where he just blacked out.
Yeah.
Well, frankly, I think Alvarez's offense, the BABIP from the right side is.
Do you remember? You remember the former Jet, now Eagle, Michael Carter II, the DB?
Sure.
Michael Carter. He was a huge baseball fan. Like, we used to talk as much baseball, he and I, as we did Jets football. That would have been the guy, like, if we were interviewing and, like, a major baseball trade happened, like, he would have been able to sit there and dumb the whole segment with us.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
1027. It's Carlin. It's Grassa. 800-919-3776. Lines are open now. And also on the ESPN New York YouTube channel where you can go, you can make your comments, you can be a part of the program, and you can do it in a rather expeditious fashion. ESPN New York.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
The whole couchcast thing, I don't sign off on this.
Maybe you guys fight to be the biggest football fans.
Nobody wants to see that, though.
Yeah, they do. They want to see you and Peter going at it. When you go to the zoo, you don't want to see the lions just sleeping.
You want to see them throwing feces at each other. That's
you
what
want
it
to see
would
them
be.
attack something.
The worse things go, the crazier I get.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
You're not a spanker, are you?
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, Yankees fans. Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st
as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at Yankees.com/tickets.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
In sports, the tape never tells the whole story. Hiring is no different. AI can make candidates look like an MVP on paper. So knowing the person and the skills behind the resume matters. That's where Robert Half changes the game. Our recruiters combine their expertise with award-winning AI to evaluate skills and fit quickly. Learn how we can find you specialized talent in finance, accounting, technology, and more. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Helps if I turn on the mic. Let's roll. Carlin, along with Grassa, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776. Over on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Go there and be a part of the show by entering the chat. Let's start with the calls. Let's start with Danny on Long Island on ESPN New York. Danny, what's going on, bud?
What's going on? I just finished a 6-mile hike in Lexington, South Carolina. I'm taking a shower, and I'm heading to the Waffle House. That's what's going on.
You know what? That's a day right there. Look at you.
That's a day right there.
Is your son pitching today?
No, my son is home in Long Island. I am visiting the grandchildren who are.
Okay. So we haven't talked in a while, so I didn't know if he was still down there pitching. Wasn't he down in the South pitching in South Carolina?
He's in the South pitching. He wasn't good enough to go any further. He's only throwing 93 because he was born in the wrong generation. He didn't reclassify 14 times, so he graduated college as a 21-year-old. So it's a lot, but he had a lot of great memories.
Danny, he's still supposed to be in college at 25 at this point.
No, listen, he had a guy on his team last year that couldn't play unless they provided childcare. It's absolutely the most insane. And the high school class of 22 got the worst of it. But that's not what we're calling today. We're calling today because I've become a aficionado of the Yankees and the Phillies because I'm a Mets fan, but I like to watch professional baseball, so I've been watching a lot of those two teams on my app. And I always say the Major League starting lineup is a living thing. It's not 9 independent people. They all support each other. And once you took Judge out of the lineup, you took out the heart, and everybody else is struggling, including Bellinger. But what you're going to miss in Bellinger now, in just that game last night, the collective decline in outfield defense, because you saw the right fielder boot a ball where it was going to be a play at the plate or not, but he didn't field it properly. And then you had the Bloom hit, which, by the way, came after a 10-pitch at bat, which was just a glorious moment in baseball. He kept fouling off pitches, It was just that's what you turn on the TV to see.
Yeah.
And he gets that little short bloop into left center field. And I don't know if Bellinger makes the catch or not. Maybe he does, but think about Bellinger diving, making that catch. Inning over, still 2-0. So you're going to miss his outfield play. He's a professional baseball player. Even when he's slumping, he does so many things right. And now you're missing 1, 2, and 3 parts with Stanton. But the thing is, the Yankees, the American League is weak. If they make it back and they have to play that wild card round.
Is there any part of you, Danny, that just knowing what their postseason history is, taking aside, we're all giving it a granted, just a given that they're in the playoffs and they might even win the division. Does it feel at all like with all these injuries that it might just be slipping away at all?
Well, in a normal year with the American League, it would be. But because the American League is so weak, I'm not afraid of the Yankees having to play in the wild card round because they're throwing a number one starter on a mound in every game. So, for instance, usually if you play the wild card round and you win, well, then your ace is not available to go to like game 3 of the next round. That's not fair. We got Fry on the mound. Oh, that's no problem. We got Cole. So they're going to play a team that's not so great in the wild card round anyway. So the important thing for the Yankee fans and team until the end of the year was you have to get Judge back. You have to get Stanton back. And I think that's what the Yankees management knows. We're not rushing these guys back because this is all eyewash until we get it. And one last point. I was alive in the 80s. I had no recollection of the Hogan family, but I'm pretty sure, Dan, that it was Guy LaFleur, not Gay LaFleur, if you want to roll back the tape.
Yeah, I understand, but Dan, that's a little, and I appreciate the phone call as always, but depending on who you hear speak from the hockey community, and a lot of them are from the, the Ontario, Toronto, Canadian folks, they will say instead of Guy, they'll say Gay LaFleur.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard it that way.
Yeah, instead of like you and I saying Detroit, they'll say Detroit. Yeah.
Who says Detroit?
I'll never forget Bobby Orr once talking about playing Detroit.
Really?
Yeah. See, sometimes I like to throw in little things like that to keep people on their toes. Like, I know exactly what it is, but again, there are people that say Gay LaFleur, like in the hockey community. And it's got nothing to do with his sexual orientation. Like, that's just the accent, the way they say.
No, you're not throwing any kind of a terrible slur at him.
Of course not.
No, but it's not even a terrible slur. It's just a point of fact. Boy, I really want to get out of this conversation as quickly as I can.
Right, like last week we were talking about the old Chicago Blackhawks, and I threw out Dustin Byfuglien. Phonetically, that's how his last name was, but it's pronounced Bufflin. We know that. Joe was there for it.
Seriously, like what goes on?
Yeah,
in your head?
A lot. I'm like, just always like the wheels are always turning.
But
Boy, was he good on? No, he actually wasn't great on Saturday. He was there to be had, but because the Mets are the Mets, that's what happened.
Did you hear the Harper comment?
How about this? I didn't, but you told me about it, and so we're going to have to all hear it collectively at some point during the show.
Yeah, I'll play it for you in a few minutes. But Bryce Harper basically,
he took a Jeter.
Yeah,
he pulled a Jeter. Is that fair?
That's fair in relation to what the Mets are and how teams see them. 800-919-3776. David and Elizabeth is up. ESPN New York. D, what's going on?
What's going on, Grasso? What's going on, Chef? Chef, before we start, I just want to say this before we move any forward. I've always appreciated your work from when you used to cover Greeny when he used to be on vacation or, he didn't, come in. Also, when you and Canty used to come together. And now, of course, your box office brother. Just want to give you your flowers because, we don't know what's going to move forward. But just want to let you know I appreciate you, Jeff. Appreciate your work, brother.
Appreciate that very much.
Yes, sir. Gracias. I'm not going to hold you. I need the neophytes to what's the proper words I want to use? I need them to start off on the right foot because we don't know if Glenn's going to be the coach and we don't know what's going to happen. But like I said, man, I need the defensive guys to step up and do what they got to do because we didn't get not one pick off last season. Definitely need that. And I just want the guys trending in the right direction. That's just basically it, and seeing what 2027 is going to bring, because that's where I'm at. I know we're getting a lot of people talking about, hey, maybe they can sneak into the playoffs. I would love that, but I don't see that happening. So I just want to be optimistic.
Dave, I don't know who's saying that they're going to sneak into the play. I mean, you don't usually go from 3 wins right sneaking into the playoffs. You got to walk before you can run, as they say. If you bring up the neophytes, though, I'll throw this reminder out there because I was talking about this the other day too. It seems like collectively, like the Jet universe, people that are fans of the team and maybe are just kind of glancing over the fact They have the number 2 overall pick in the draft. The guy who was the highest drafted defensive player in the history of the franchise. If David Bailey comes in and does what he's supposed to do as a rookie and let's say, has 8-9 sacks, that's also going to change the complexion of this defense in a major, major way on top of the reinforcements they brought in on that side of the ball.
Yep, on the secondary as well, Dan. I agree with you 100%. It's crazy that you're saying that you got to crawl before you walk. It reminds me of Wolf of Wall Street when he's at that country club. Get off the phone.
Little different context, but I hear what you're saying.
Listen, on the Jets front, I've been very bullish isn't quite the word, but I certainly have been more optimistic about what this season could hold, I think, than most others. I heard Rich make this comment the other day, Rich Cimini, that the Jets still have a bottom third roster in the NFL, but I actually think they have a better roster overall than the Giants do right now. I look at them, and I think the Jets have the ability offensively to score some points if Geno is just the guy that he is supposed to be. Not the guy that doesn't screw it up a ton, doesn't turn it over a ton, makes some throws. I don't need him to go out there and be 30-5. It'd be nice, but I don't need him to go out there and do that. I need him to go out there and be able to run the offense and make throws when I need him to make them.
Rick and I were talking about this last week, just in terms of the offense. Aside from the quarterback, you take the Jets' offense on paper over the Giants any day of the week.
No question.
Any day of the week.
Yes.
I mean, the Jets, if you had more certainty at the quarterback position, and granted, it's the most important position, right? From a Jet standpoint, you look at that skill position talent on offense and you say, wait a sec, this could actually be a really fun offense this year. Like that's like a top half of the NFL offense potentially. You know what I mean?
Potentially, absolutely.
Right? If you had more certainty at quarterback. You just don't know what you're getting from Geno. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But let's be here. If Jackson Dart was the Jet quarterback going into your number 2,
there'd be a hell of a lot more excitement about it.
There'd be a hell of a lot more excitement. And let's face it, the 2 most important people on an NFL team, coach, quarterback. Giants got that edge right now. If John Harbaugh, who is one of the handful of guys in the NFL that can just step into a program and instill instant credibility, if John Harbaugh was coaching in Florham Park, for example, then there would be more people probably, like David just mentioned, saying this is a team that might be able to sneak in the playoffs because they're saying that about the Giants.
But they have the coach advantage. I can't say for certain that they have the quarterback advantage yet. I can't say that for sure. That Dart is better than Geno right now.
If you're a Giant fan, you would like to think you do, but
yes.
But it's still
if you're a Giant fan, listen to me. This is just about him this year.
It's a very small sample size.
Yes.
You're right.
And there are still things to be worked out, and I still believe there's a maturity factor that's involved. I've seen years of what Geno is capable of if things are going right. But you can't definitively tell me that right now only.
Yeah.
That Dart's better than Geno.
If you get close to the Seattle Geno from the first 2 years in Seattle, then this team will be a lot more fun to watch this year. 100%.
Carlin, Grassa, 800-919-3776, 800-919 ESPN. Bryce Harper smacking around the Mets again. We'll explain in moments. ESPN New York.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See him in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. At Rings End, they're there to help realize your modern design visions. That's why they partner with Marvin. Engineered for big ideas, Marvin modern windows and doors deliver effortless elegance, expansive views, and industry-leading innovation, all in a modular system designed to meet the exacting principles of modern architecture. Experience Marvin Modern at a Rings End showroom today and create something stunning with them. Rings End is a certified Marvin installing retailer.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Here's the one thing I think is the conundrum for Brian Cashman. If Judge doesn't come back, now doctors reportedly are telling them that he is going to come back. When that's going to be, anybody's guess. But if Judge doesn't come back, by making trades and using collateral to get players back to fill holes, are you throwing good money after bad? I think they can make the playoffs without Judge. I don't think they can win a championship without Judge.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring. But now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Here's the one thing I think is the conundrum for Brian Cashman. If Judge doesn't come back, now doctors reportedly are telling them that he is going to come back. When that's going to be, anybody's guess. But if Judge doesn't come back, by making trades and using collateral to get players back to fill holes, are you throwing good money after bad? I think they can make the playoffs without Judge. I don't think they can win a championship without Judge.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
There are some bizarre stories that are coming out today.
You think?
Yeah, I haven't seen all of any of the details. So I'm going to lay off some of the details right now, but apparently the wife of Eric Bieniemy was shot in their home. I don't see any of the details on what's going on there with how she's doing or any of the follow-up on that. Mike Lombardi, who is Bill Belichick's guy down at North Carolina, has been placed on administrative leave. So he did something to tick off somebody. What a shock that would happen. I mean, that whole thing, that can't end well this year, right?
Did you think it would?
No.
I mean, did you think it would at all?
No, absolutely not.
And now you have all former UNC players who feel like they've been alienated by the current power structure, which, we've heard a lot of that over the last year. Now they're all coming out of the woodwork today like, see, I told you so.
Yeah, this guy's a bad guy.
You didn't want to hear me then, but now you hear me.
It's Bart Carlin on ESPN New York, and Grassa is in today. We also have a little clip here from Bryce Harper that I want you to hear. This is Bryce Harper appearing on Mookie Betts' podcast. Now, the Dodgers were just in Philly, so they must have taped something around that. But he is addressing who the biggest rival for the Phillies is.
I mean, obviously we play a lot of, big games against the Braves, I would say. Yeah. I don't know if they're our rival. The Mets are the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mets are the Mets.
But once they kind of got rid of Pete and all those guys, I mean, it's a different team. It's a different club, right? And so
that was I feel like they had a identity or a nucleus or whatever, and now I'm not going to say it's all over the place, but it's
just different.
It's just different.
Nimmo came up in that organization. Pete comes up in that organization. They go somewhere else in free agency. They kind of see that they're missing those guys right now, right? That leadership or that, that quality of a player. It's just different. But when those guys were there and stuff and they were that team, I would say the Mets at that point. Once Jeremy Hefner left the Mets and went to the Braves this past year, I was like, oh no. Crap.
Yeah, there's a lot there. First of all, the considerable chuckling at the beginning of it, where you almost couldn't stay. That was not the that was not the Don media laugh, and I get it. That was not the Don media just chuckling, some kind of joke. Media saying, "Oh," when Mike Vrabel walks up in front of a room with a dog. By the way, how about that the other day? Anyway,
is that I thought in the crisis management playbook, the appearance of the puppy usually comes a lot earlier in the book than whatever chapter they're on now.
I think the horse has left the barn already, so to speak, on Vrabel.
Exactly.
Yeah. At any rate,
right. Exactly. Instead of the puppy, it was save a woman and her baby from an overturned car.
Well,
or something like that.
That
took the place of the puppy.
At the situation here, that was to me two guys in the league really chuckling at the Mets and at their situation, and then you go on and you say, basically laid out exactly how every Met fan feels. And then at the end mentions, and oh, by the way, when I saw Hefner was going to the Braves, I was like, crap. Because they knew how good Jeremy Hefner was as a pitching coach.
Yeah, I mean, we could also chuckle at Bryce Harper when he leaves the Nationals. They win a World Series the next year without him. I mean, like, there's that. But no, look, everything he said, he's not wrong, right? And he's saying it very matter-of-factly. I mean, every Met fan out there probably has said even more demonstratively, I know I have, about what the mistakes that the Mets have made all season and all offseason than what Bryce Harper and Mookie Betts just acknowledged. They're a joke. Like, I was playing the sound the other day when David Stearns did his press conference on Friday, before the series against the Dodgers or whatever. And I even made it a point. I said, you know what? Like, I don't think any Met fan wants to hear him speak anymore. Like, I don't care what he's saying.
No, he's done his due diligence at this point.
Other than I'm stepping down, I don't think a Met fan wants to hear from David Stearns from now until December.
You know what I want to hear from him?
You've done enough.
Yeah,
you've done enough.
This is what I want to hear at the winter meetings.
If there is a winter meetings. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't know if, like I said,
I covered enough for your
it was a coverage. Absolutely.
I want to make sure
that was solid.
I know. Just trying to keep it away from you.
Look, you got Legionnaire's disease. You've got like lettuce.
I don't have it.
No, the world has it. The area
There's a new
has
cyclospora.
Cyclospora, where it's like debilitating. You know what? The lettuce is the least of our concerns now. There's a lot out there. There's a lot going on. So
I think that you're probably ahead of the curve, is what we're saying.
But no, it's bad. And it was nice to see David Stearns, over part of the Mets contingent yesterday up in Cooperstown for, Carlos Beltran's Hall of Fame induction, sitting there wearing the Mets cap and his suit jacket in 100 degrees up there in Cooperstown. I don't know what point he was trying to prove, but, a guy who wears a quarter zip every day when it's 90-something degrees in the summertime, like, you kind of question the judgment of that individual, period. Don't you?
You kind of do.
Right?
Yeah.
Do I trust this guy running my operations when I don't trust what comes out of his closet every single day?
I mean, what's going on whatever shirt he has underneath that?
And then he wears a shirt underneath.
Whatever.
Like, what are you doing?
You can't take that off the whole day. For me, I sat and sweated through a wicker hat a few weeks ago at the beach bash. It was that hot.
A wicker
hat, which I didn't know was possible, that you could actually sweat through wicker, but you can. I would absolutely, and I'm not exaggerating, sweat through a quarter zip, no matter how thick it was.
But I mean, like, you got the golf shirt underneath. Just wear the golf shirt, short sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should just rock that. What do you need the quarter zip for? Was the air conditioning cranked up too much? It's summer, man.
It's 100 degrees in Cooperstown.
I don't disagree. When I saw him wearing a suit, I'm like, dude, this guy just doesn't get it.
I don't disagree. But the thing about Harper with these comments is it just bothers me that everybody's right about just how horrible the situation is, and that players look at it just as ridiculously as we do. And two guys who are really respected players in the league look at it the way that we do.
How do you not? Right? Because, look, I think...
I know. I guess the point is it bothers me. It doesn't bother me that they're saying it out loud. Like, I'm not annoyed by Bryce Harper saying it. It bothers me that it is being said out loud, and it's true.
2 years ago, Mookie Betts' team had to go 6 games against the Mets in the LCS. One step from the World Series. Bryce Harper and the Phillies, they knew that the Mets last year were a dangerous team before they went on that free fall in the second half of the season, right? That was a team that they had to worry about in the National League East to get to where they wanted to get to. And then to see what they ended up doing in one offseason, and just every single move that the front office made has completely backfired on them, they're saying thank you very much. Thank you. What else is up your sleeve next offseason? Which is scary, by the way. I was thinking more about this. Not a great free agent class. Forget about the economics of baseball and whether there's going to be a lockout or not. But it's not a great free agent class like baseball-wide. So how are the Mets going to be able to fix this in one offseason? Like they say they want to compete in 2027. How are you going to fix this?
Do you want Stearns out right now?
Yesterday.
See, here's my thing. If I'm Steve Cohen and I went and paid you everything that I did, and I've been wrong about it, and I have 2 years left, at the very least, I'm not paying you now after you've completely screwed up my entire organization to go on vacation for 2 years. Maybe 1 year, but at the very least, I'm going to make you try to fix this at some point through the next year or so to try to restore your own reputation in the game.
Better question, though. Are you paying him because you trust him that he can get it right? And the thing I keep coming back to is if David Stearns was an employee for Steve Cohen at his private equity firm, whatever it is he still working there?
No.
Thank you.
No, he's not.
Thank you.
And I totally get that argument. I
understand it's not just waving a magic wand, because I understand it's more than just removing a guy from an office. You are now redoing how you operate your entire baseball operations department. Minor league level on down, the way you scout, the way you develop, the way you draft, the way you run everything in the minor leagues, your hitting approach, your pitching approach, fielding, defense. It's a systematic overhaul. So it's more than just removing one person. But I just don't know how you have any faith whatsoever that this is going to turn anytime soon.
Carlin, Grassa, ESPN New York.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Do you know Sven?
I do. Yeah, Sven Butenschon.
Nice.
You know him? It was on my team. Yeah, Sven Butenschon.
When was the last time you talked to Sven Butenschon?
Not recently, but he's my buddy when we played here.
So if you saw him walking down the street, be like, Sven, it's me, Rick.
Yes. Big hug.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You know what became of Sven?
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Fans arrive early at Yankee Stadium on Saturday, August 8th for the 78th Annual Old Timers Day presented by Fresh Direct. See Yankees legends put on the pinstripes again and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Relive memories of your favorite former Yankees and make new memories with your family. After the Old Timers Day ceremony and game conclude, stick around to see your Bronx Bombers take on Atlanta. Get your Saturday, August 8th Old Timers Day tickets presented by Fresh Direct at Yankees.com/tickets today.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
NBA champion, Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. Describe the experience of what the last month has been like for you.
That's a loaded question. It's been a roller coaster, honestly. Obviously, once we won and everything was up high and everything was amazing. The parade and all of that, just everything after we won was just amazing.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
The summer of soccer is heating up with Red Bull New York. Join the Red Bulls on Saturday, August 1st as they take on Orlando City SC at Sports Illustrated Stadium. It's Hometown Heroes Night, celebrating the first responders, community leaders, and everyday heroes who make a difference across our communities. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m., but the fun starts at 4 p.m. on the Boulevard with 3 hours of pregame entertainment. Get your tickets today at NewYorkRedBulls.com.
The success you've had in life matters. The late nights, the extra shifts, the moments you've stood up and said, I've got this. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we value your achievements because we're a school for real life. With UMGC, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer scholarships, affordable tuition, and online and hybrid classes, all with the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. As an accredited state university, we've been transforming lives for over 75 years. Choose from more than 100 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, and get ready to succeed again. At UMGC, success is yours for the taking and the making, and nothing should keep you from it, especially not an application fee. Apply now and we'll waive your application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
At some point today, Dan Gross and I will compete in name a random member of this team.
Name a random guy on said team. I like it.
I.e., name a random 1993 New York Met. That will be
a 1998 Metro Star.
The only Metro Star I ever knew was Joe Tollison, who did the games on MSG,
Joe
and that was it.
And Tommy Smith. That was a classic duo.
It was.
They did great work.
They did.
The old MSG. I used to watch. I was diehard in the early days of MLS when there was only like 8 teams.
The Metro Stars. I forgot that.
Remember when they played on that ugly, the ugly, almost bluish green turf
at the
old Giant Stadium?
Oh yeah.
No, they would play on grass in the summer. Like in the spring and summer, it would be grass.
Well, once they got to the fall,
and once it was football season, like I remember when they would like make the playoffs, they would play playoff games on that disgusting football field.
Yes, that was. You know more than I do. I just remember the color of the field, just because, but. I barely remembered the word Metro Stars. It's Carlin, it's Grassa on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. I do want to spend a few minutes here because Tess has been waiting on hold, and I want to get to her in a few minutes. We'll hit all your calls at 800-919-3776. The LeBron to Philadelphia thing. There was a brief time on Friday afternoon that the Philadelphia 76ers were actually the favorites in the East over on FanDuel. I went over and took a look, and the Sixers to win the East at that point were plus 320, and the Knicks were plus 350. Now that has changed. Once again, the Knicks are the favorites in the East. I think they're plus 320, and the Sixers are now plus 380. But you knew you were going to have a ton of money there on LeBron in the early going on that betting to get that number down to where it was. As far as him joining the Sixers, I do think this is a major problem. They are by far the biggest challenge in the conference. Don't even bother talking to me about the Celtics where they are at the moment. I don't think I'm going to get anything out of them. I don't think they'll get a last season type performance from the Celtics that Jaylen Brown led when Tatum was out. Now that Brown's gone, I don't think that Tatum's going to lead them to win 55, 60 games. But the Sixers, I can't argue with the group that they have with Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Edgecombe, and now LeBron to go with it. And I understand Embiid may only play 40 games, but I don't really care who's ready for the postseason. The Sixers are going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem this year.
I'm a little more cool on it than you are because, first of all, there's only one ball. We've been down this road before a lot with a lot of teams. You know, where you look like you have an all-star team, a super team, there's still only one ball. How are those other pieces that are used to scoring and maybe scoring is going to be their most contribution they're going to provide to a team? Are they going to be able to adapt and adjust? That's number one. Number two, is it going to be a case of the sum is greater than the individual parts? Individual parts look pretty impressive. Like, no, I'm not going to deny that. They're good. They're talented.
That's a hell of a fantasy team.
Hell of a video game fantasy team, right? You got the cards. You can show your friends. Collectively, though, how's it going to work? We know this Knicks team, they've been through it together for years. The trials and tribulations in the playoffs, they finally got there last year. They know what it takes. This team, shotgun marriage, is it all going to come together? Now, Joe Leo, the great Joe Leo, when we were doing the show the other day, he asked me a question. And how did you phrase it again? Remember about the Sixers in the upcoming season?
So for these next 2 years, Sixers or the field?
And I took the field.
In the East.
No, for a title, right?
For a title.
Yeah. Because, look, you're bringing in LeBron. LeBron's going there. It's to win a ring, not to just go to the finals.
Right.
Then that is an empty proposition. It's to win a ring.
Yeah, no, I'm still taking the field.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's too many. If you're giving me the West as well, there's too many really good teams.
Well, let's be real. I mean, here's the one thing that it also does, and this would have been the case even without LeBron, but, dude, look at the Eastern Conference now. Like, the Eastern Conference, top to bottom, there is a lot more meat on that bone than there is out West. I think the West is a little more top-heavy.
Yes, they still have two outstanding teams.
San Antonio,
at the very top.
OKC. You want to throw in a Denver in there because of Jokic, for example. But, dude, look at the East. I mean, Knicks, Philly, Miami, Cleveland, Boston, Indy, who's going to be better this year with Halliburton back. Detroit is still a thing. Toronto's going to get Kawhi. Like, Atlanta, who was a playoff team last year. Like, there's going to be like 9-10 in the Eastern Conference where you say, shoot, all right, when we show up to the gym tonight, we're going to be in for a battle.
My problem here is it's not necessarily that I fully believe the Sixers are better than the Knicks right now. The Knicks just won a championship. How can I argue anything against that? And nor would I try to. What I do worry about with the Knicks is the toll of the last couple of seasons. The toll of last year playing deep into the postseason, and then this year, although they did only play 3 more than the required number of games that they had to play. Were they 16-3? Or what was the final number for the postseason? 16-3.
16-3, yeah.
I still think that going into the offseason and all the things that are involved with winning a championship and the celebrations after that and all the appearances and as deep as that's going to take you into the offseason, and the Knicks being a team that is a late 20s, early 30s type team, I feel like that's going to take something out of you. And you might get a Sixers team that is younger with Maxey and is younger with Edgecombe, but then just dynamic players to go with them in Brown and Max and Brown and LeBron. LeBron's still a great player. He's still a great player.
If they want to be at their absolute best, if this thing wants to fire the way they absolutely intend it to, LeBron's got to be no better. I say no better than the third option offense.
I would agree.
And if he's a facilitator and, for all his freaking career, all we heard about is that's what he loves to do, blah, blah, blah. Well, now he's really going to have to do it. And I know that he got a taste of that the last couple of years in L.A. I get it, but it's really going to have to happen here. And then on the other end of the floor, LeBron doesn't cover as much ground as he used to defensively.
No, you got to hide him a little bit.
Certainly, Joel Embiid does not do what he used to do defensively because he's never on the court. So then you look at, the Jaylen Brown factor is big. This is a guy who last year said he had the most fun he ever had playing basketball, coincidentally enough, when Tatum was gone the whole year. And he got to be the guy.
See, I know people have made a lot of that comment. I read that comment a little bit differently. And people have ripped it because, well, how is it not the year you won the championship?
And you were the finals MVP.
I think his point was this was supposed to, they traded everybody away on our team. They were dumping salaries left and right. This was supposed to be a lottery year. And we went out and did something I never would have expected us to do. I didn't take that as Brown talking about just himself being the man there. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but that's how I took that. I took it more as like, I really enjoyed the hell out of this year because we weren't supposed to do a damn thing.
I actually think, me personally, that this is still not the worst thing in the world for the Knicks. I think the worst outcome for the Knicks as far as possible LeBron destinations would have been if he went to Miami. That would have been
See, I would have been less worried about Miami because there's one thing I want to know. Who's shooting the basketball in Miami?
Fair.
I mean, nobody can shoot.
You can say the same thing, though, about Philadelphia as far as who's taking the shot. Like that
Who's
last
taking
shot.
the shot, yes, but
But still, Giannis is still a machine. He's going to be motivated. You throw LeBron in there. You got Bam. That's a good coach, right? We know it's a good coach. It still is a quote-unquote championship culture. I think the high-level talent on that squad would have surpassed, and there's less heads to get in the way. Like, there's more cooks in the kitchen now in Philadelphia than there would have been in Miami in that respect.
To me, it's on LeBron if you screw this up.
Of course,
because you took
him. He'll make an excuse if it doesn't, like he always does.
Of course.
But yeah,
of course.
But yeah, go ahead.
He took less money, and as Wendy apparently said this morning on Get Up and on First Take, was basically like, "Yeah, I don't really. This didn't have to do with family. This didn't have to do with anything other than winning for my last year or two." Winning. That was it, period. Okay. So if that's the case, you've taken less money in that instance in a ridiculously large pay cut. So whatever adjustments have to be made are simply on you, period. You have to adjust your game around everybody else, especially when you're bringing Jaylen Brown in. And if that doesn't work, you should get blamed.
And, I mentioned this the other day. I think as a Knicks fan, this has got to be, so satisfying because – remember the comment that Rich Paul made that if the Knicks didn't win a championship, LeBron would be a Knick? Even though it takes two to tango, and the Knicks would have to, want him, okay? Think about that, though. He would have come to the Knicks to help them win a championship, just like he's trying to do in Philadelphia at this stage of his career. But the fact that the Knicks didn't need LeBron to come aboard, and they did it on their own with a group that had been together for a couple of years, did it the hard way, you know what I mean? And the fact that they got to the top of the mountain without him, don't you think, as a fan, that is so much more satisfying than if you would have gotten there with the hired gun to help get, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
When we needed you, when we really needed you 15 years ago, I needed your help 15 years ago, you know where to be found, right? That's what the Knicks are saying to LeBron now. Now you're knocking on my door. Now you want to come and be part of this because we're good and we're the champs. Now we don't need you now. We don't want you now.
Yeah.
Go someplace else. That's so much more satisfying to me as a fan.
Oh, I totally
to
get
win
that.
this championship.
Yeah.
We did it on our own. We didn't need you. We needed you a long time ago. Now you need us more than we need you.
I totally get that. And I honestly feel like go scratch. I don't
go kick rocks.
That's fine.
Yep.
Have a good time. I'm not really worried about you anymore. And it is especially satisfying to not have anybody be able to say to you, well, you went out and bought a championship, or well, you went out and put a super team together. That's not what they did in any way. It wasn't the 04 Pistons. I think it was a better team than that, but it wasn't a team. It wasn't LeBron going to Miami. It wasn't that.
Right.
So, yeah, I would agree. That's absolutely, infinitely more satisfying.
I saw somebody post, there was a thing that showed up over the weekend, if Jordan pulled the LeBron game with the chase and rings and everything, this would have been 1999 in the NBA, and it was a picture of Jordan between Tim Duncan and David Robinson with the San Antonio Spurs. That would have been the move, right? After that, the Bulls thing was done, and after, they won in 98, the sixth ring, and then, he stepped away, and everybody, that whole team got broken up. If Jordan had that in his DNA, he would have went and joined a team like San Antonio then, in 99.
Listen, I'm sure that if Rich says that LeBron would have been a Knick this offseason, I think that's possible. I think that's entirely possible if they hadn't won a championship. I think, and nothing was off the table if they hadn't, at the very least, made it to the finals. But
we'll never know the answer, but it's so fascinating.
But the best part, too, to me is you're just sitting around watching everybody else react, watching everybody else do their thing, and you know that for the most part, with one exception, that frankly, it's important, but it's not what puts you over the top. You are the same team as last year.
Now, correct. What are the odds right now? I know you said earlier there was money coming in on Philadelphia.
On
they
Friday.
Were actually, yeah.
Yeah. So the odds in terms of a championship or in terms of the conference?
Championship.
I believe, and I will double check right now. I won't even give you a speculation. How about that? I'm just going to tell you facts.
Facts are better than speculation.
But they usually don't work in sports radio.
Stone cold, black and white. We like that.
The Thunder and Spurs are tied as the favorites right now. This is on FanDuel.
Okay.
Should look at DraftKings as well.
Mm-hmm.
Both at plus 260 to win a championship. Knicks.
So even money, Thunder and Spurs.
Yes.
Okay.
Knicks are next at plus 900.
Okay.
Sixers are next at plus 1,000.
Okay.
So 9-1, 10-1.
Two things why I think you have the Western teams in front. Like we just got done saying, the West should be a lot more manageable to, get out of compared to the East.
It's gotten much easier. Absolutely.
Right? And I think you also, Vegas knows this. There's a reason that it's been 8 consecutive years without a repeat champion. It's hard to repeat, man.
Also true.
It's hard.
Because I do think I don't think anybody is sitting here taking for granted that the Knicks are going to go and definitively win a championship next year. They're going to bask in this for a while, and that's fine. But I also, the amount that it takes out of you to go and do it is a lot.
Let's not forget, too, and I don't want to be the bearer of gloom and doom, but let's be real. For the most part, 6 months out of the year, plus the long postseason, they were relatively healthy.
Oh, well, that's incredibly overlooked.
You can't guarantee that.
No.
One season to the next that it's going to carry over.
Just looked at DraftKings. Spurs, Thunder, both plus 270, so basically the same again.
Okay.
Sixers and Knicks both plus 900, so they're tied on DraftKings. If I were to ask you who are the next two teams favorites to win a championship after those 4 in the league next year, who would you say?
The next 2 teams?
Yep.
Is Cleveland one of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Plus 2,500, 25-1.
There's
There's one team in front of Cleveland.
Miami.
Nope. Boston. How dumb is that? Boston at plus 1,300, that's just got to be about stupid money.
It's either stupid money and that's just like, boy, you're really buying a lot into the culture. But what about the culture that just blew a 3-1 lead in the first round of the playoffs to a team that has no tradition of winning in Philadelphia?
Tessa, West Caldwell. Tessa, what's going on? Great to hear from you. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for taking my call. I appreciate it. Devastation the past couple weeks, but I'm back. And then, LeBron just made it worse. I just want to just say this really quick. I'm going to make these comments about the 76ers LeBron, but I'm going to let you know I'm calling back later on this week to talk to y'all about the Giants and the Jets, that y'all just kind of being baby disrespectful to my Giants. But we'll talk about that another time.
Okay.
But anyway, I just want to just tell you this really quick. I'm trying to still find the words. I was practicing while I was on hold. I can't even say the P word. I can't even say what city he's in because you know how much I hate that city.
Well, he's not even going to live there, though. He's going to chop her in and out, staying in New York.
He's not getting a duplex in Camden?
I'm not buying a jersey.
And he's not looking at spots in Old City.
I can't take it. I'm not buying a jersey. I didn't buy every jersey with this man that went to. I can't even put that word on my chest. Are you kidding me?
It's like he can barely do it.
Hey, listen, I don't know what was in this man's thinking, but going to the 76ers, that's all I can call them is the 76ers or the Sixers. I can't say the word before that. I know it had to be calculated with him. It had to be. You know how he is. He makes a big deal about everything. It was calculated. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is what I feel like. Yeah, the Knicks is probably thinking this and thinking that, but I'm telling you they don't want to go through them. The only way they want to go through them is if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks do not want to go through them. You know how playoff LeBron is. It is a reason why he went through that team. So, yes, good job with the Knicks and all that, but I don't know why LeBron always gets bashed. And what I mean by that, even Dan, you just made that comment just now, Dan, talking about I'm chasing rings. This man, to me, what makes a GOAT is somebody that does on the field, on the court, off the field, off the court, if they're the same. They're great. Nothing in the headlines, no drama, no cheating, no outside baby moms, none of that garbage. Alcohol, drugs, none of that garbage. And that's what that man is. That man has done nothing. Nobody will ever do what he's doing in his 40s. Nobody will ever get that scoring title, but he still always get bashed for little decisions like, oh, I'm going to go to the 76ers. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand that. That's why I want him to keep doing what he's doing. And I'm telling you guys right now, people can say what they want to say about him, but you know me, I'm not a Knicks fan. But at the end of the day, they did their thing, and I'm really happy for them. But guess what? This year was a collapse for so many teams that looked like, whoa, what are you doing, Detroit? Whoa, this injury, that injury.
Well, but listen, Tessa, that's true, but we were saying this about the Knicks at the time. Like, if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it with all of that going on?
there you go. This was their year. So that's what I'm saying. So next year, and you know what, Dan, you forgot one team. Orlando's going to be a problem.
Orlando,
next
too,
year,
yeah.
I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. I don't see it for them next year. I'm hating.
The East is going to Tessa. If you like basketball, like I mean, if you're forget it being a Knicks fan, whatever. But if you're also like a basketball fan, the East is going to be fun next year.
Yes,
it really and truly is,
and it's going to be better. It's going to be better than the West, top to bottom, and that was a seismic shift because all any of us were saying during the year though was, well, it doesn't matter who comes out of the East. They're not beating whoever's in the West.
And just to clear up what Tessa was saying, like my comments about nobody's saying that LeBron is. Nobody even insinuated for a second that he's a bad guy. I mean, he's like
not.
Spotless off the court.
No, he enjoys the attention.
But he loves attention more than 9 million people put together, and that's the drama for over 20 years that kind of wears on you a little bit. And look, God bless him what he's been able to do and stay fit, and he's put in the time and the money and the energy to make himself in tip-top shape and all that stuff. The scoring title thing is kind of it doesn't do as much for me because think about the era he's played in. Okay, LeBron James is getting a scoring title was aided considerably by the 3-point shot, just like a lot of these guys. And look at offense in the NBA to begin with. You know, Jordan never had the luxury of the 3-point shot like it is nowadays. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who had the scoring record, how many 3-pointers did Kareem make in his career? Mm-hmm. What, 0? You know what I'm saying? Like 1, 2. So my point is you have to think about the era in which somebody plays as well, and that's why comparing all this stuff is a little dicey.
Listen, I'm never forgiving LeBron just primarily because he involved Jim Gray in the decision. Like, you involve Jim Gray in anything.
LeBron James.
We're out.
That decision happened like 3 days before my wedding, believe it or not.
Really?
That's what I remember.
Did it affect anything with the wedding?
Nothing whatsoever.
Nothing whatsoever.
No. It was a week ago today, believe it or not.
Did Jim Gray officiate your wedding?
No. Didn't even get an invite.
No?
No. I didn't know Jim Gray.
Good job.
Don't know him.
Good job. You're okay by me.
You're not a Jim Gray guy, huh?
I'm not a Jim Gray guy.
Where did Jim Gray recently resurface?
The Entourage movie? Brady podcast?
No. Even more recently, like he was being interviewed as
Who did he push out of the way to get in front of the camera?
A subject for something. Was it some boxing-related thing, maybe? Because he was a big boxing guy. I'm trying to remember.
Probably.
Anyway. But you're not a Jim Gray guy, huh?
No. There's problems.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever heard these before.
No, listen. There's
issues. There's tension.
I've just seen too much. I've seen too much behind the scenes.
You can say that a lot about a lot of people, man.
Yeah, I know.
Let's be real.
I know. But
right?
with him in particular, I've actually seen it.
Yeah.
So, that's all. I can't find the alarm. I don't really care to hear it at the moment. Richard in Manhattan. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Rich.
Are you working on a molar right now?
No, no molars. Sitting down doing some paperwork, but I got great question for you
some
guys.
Some clerical work today.
Probably the greatest question I've ever asked you guys, ever. And I think you can put it up as a poll question. I think you'll get 50%.
When was the last time we did a poll question, by the way?
Well, here it is.
Huh?
Dan, this is
I
it.
did one last week asking if my shirt was
I'm going to give you something.
Richard, allow me to finish my thought, please. Thank you. I did one last week that was asking whether or not my shirt made my nipples too pronounced. Go ahead, Richard.
All right. What makes this great is you'll get a 50% on both sides. Buster only, none of Tim Kirchin, nobody can give you what this is going to. It's a two-part question. Here's the two parts. Was Beltran a better Met than Winfield was a Yankee? Part one.
Okay.
Number two, who had the better career overall in total, Beltran or Winfield?
Ooh.
What do you guys say?
That's interesting.
Of course it is.
You could make... Of course it is.
Of course I said something interesting. What are you, nuts? What are you, out of your mind? Of course it is. Keep that. That's interesting. Of course it is.
Can I be honest with you? Like, you hate to say this about certain guys, but both of them to a certain degree, and I think that obviously like longevity accompanies this, they both kind of have that compiler tag to them. I'll give you an example, more so even with Beltran, because during the Hall of Fame stuff yesterday, when they're rattling off like all the teams he played for as they're reading his play, I forgot that he even played for I forgot that he was a Texas Ranger. Towards the end when he just
briefly.
start hanging, you're like, oh, that's right, he was with the Texas Rangers.
I mean, you can say the same thing about Winfield. He was with the Angels at one point.
Oh,
Toronto
absolutely.
in '92. He was great in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He was with Minnesota.
Minnesota, yep.
Cleveland at the very end.
I forgot he was with Cleveland at the end.
Man, you look at Winfield's numbers.
Winfield was a phenomenal athlete.
I mean,
basketball,
drafted
football,
in 4 sports or 3?
I think
so,
at least three.
Football, basketball, baseball.
If he was about a foot shorter, he would have been drafted in horse racing as a jockey. He's that talented. You ever get on a horse before?
No. Didn't want to kill it.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, it's not my thing.
I'm not a horse guy.
Yeah, me neither.
Not really. Winfield had 1,800 RBIs.
He was a very good player.
I mean,
here's what I didn't know about Carlos Beltran, as John Miller used to call him. Beltran. Carlos Beltran. Highest career stolen base percentage in the history of baseball.
Did not know that.
History of baseball. Not just like guys from Puerto Rico or guys that played for the Mets who made the final out of the LCS with the bat on their shoulders. History of baseball.
Did not know that, Susan.
And he was a very, very talented player. It still seems weird, though, that, like, he's the third guy to have a Met on his plaque in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Only because, like, when you think about his relation to the Mets, like, I still just don't, like, get all warm and fuzzy thinking he's a Met. Like,
that's probably, well, you know why that is. You know why that is.
I know why
because
it is.
There's one single memory that sticks out.
Well, I say to you, what is his signature moment as a Met? And you're going to give me that. But forget, when I say signature moment, remove that. Give me the good moments, the positive moments, the epic game-winning hits, this, and that as a Met. Not a lot of them, and not one that jumps to your mind. So that's why, like, when you hear, like, him being the third guy only, like, you look at Citi Field and the guys who have, like, the numbers retired, which I think is a little too many, because the Mets have gotten out of control with that of late.
Yeah.
But he just would not be the guy that I would think.
They corrected way too much of it.
Right. This is more on the Wilpons, the previous ownership. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't do the ones that they should have done.
Enough.
Keith should have been done 20 years ago.
Well, and the fact that Gary's still not is a freaking joke.
Yeah.
You could rip half of the ones out and put 8 up there before a lot of the other ones deserve to be up there.
It's Carlin, Grassa, 800-919-3776, 800-919 ESPN. We have some audio files coming on the way.
Ooh.
Also, name a random player from a team. We will compete in that in just a bit.
1976 Cosmos. Canalia.
Giorgio Canalia.
Beckenbauer.
I'm good.
Messing.
I'm out.
Game's over. Done.
There is a major development in the with the Kansas City Chiefs and their quarterback position that I don't think a lot of people expected right away. We'll tell you all about it in moments on ESPN New York.
It's summertime, so why are you still living with pain? If you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or nerve pain, don't wait any longer. Call Dr. Jay Shaw at Soundwell Pain. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no long recovery, no relying on pain medication. Just non-surgical image-guided treatments that help you get your life back. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted. Help is close. Go to SoundwellPain.com. Feel better this summer, not someday.
When you manage an active facility, disruption is not an option. Tricon Construction specializes in healthcare, commercial, and industrial environments where work needs to happen without shutting operations down. That takes detailed planning, clear communication, and safe, disciplined execution. Because when patients are inside, tenants are working, or production has to keep moving, every decision matters. Tricon understands how to work around your business professionally, safely, and efficiently. For complex work inside active facilities, choose Tricon Construction. Visit TriconBuilds.com. That's TriconBuilds.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to
get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See him in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one, 50% off windows and doors, and no payments, no interest for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See local showroom for details. Offer ends July 31st, 2026.
Kenny here to tell you about the Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. It's a fruity candy flavor explosion. A zero sugar treat that's Sweet Tooth approved. These can take care of my candy cravings and provides a tasty caffeine kick without all the sugar. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
The New York Red Bulls take on Orlando City SC Saturday, August 1st. Sports Illustrated Stadium with kickoff set for 7:30. Celebrate Hometown Heroes Night with Red Bull New York and be among the first 10,000 fans for an exclusive beach towel giveaway for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets. Enter now. ESPNNewYork.com or through the ESPN New York app. Don't miss Julian Hall, Antoine Griezmann when the Red Bulls host Orlando City SC. That is Saturday, August the 1st. Secure your seats at NewYorkRedBulls.com.
Get that beach towel.
Have you been to beach yet this year? Well, you went to the Turks and Caicos.
That's right. Have not been down to the shore yet. We were talking about that over the weekend. It's like, boy, I hope we get some time to go down because we usually do. We've perfected the day trip.
Yeah.
Even going down to some places as far down as like Long Beach Island, for example, which is about an hour and a half drive door to door, but we've perfected knocking it out in one day.
In one day.
You drive down in the morning.
That's midweek. That's obviously a midweek situation.
Absolutely. It's a midweek, not a weekend, not a Friday. Midweek situation. You go early in the morning. You have the beach all day. Grab a nice dinner down there in one of the many spots. Wait for the PM rush to dissipate on the Parkway. Hit the Parkway. You're home just as the sun goes down.
This is going to sound naive for a moment. The beach badge situation, do you just pay an admission fee on a particular day or what?
It's a daily.
It's a daily. They do have a daily.
You know what they have? And this wasn't like this, at least I remember when I was a kid growing up. So you walk on the beach, you set up, you do your thing. They now have they're either like high school kids or college kids home for the summer who literally walk up and down the beach with a backpack. And they are fee collectors. Like either do you have a badge or you have to pay the daily fee of just being on the beach. That's what we do. That's all. Just pay I don't know if it's like $10, $15, whatever it is.
Okay.
And then you're good to go. Pretty good. Got the parking situation.
Who's out there selling the fake badges? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, black market beach badges.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you find a nice
all over
quiet spot.
No, my badges are only $5.
But I like to go. But, with camp starting now this week, like it gets a little bit more complicated. And of course, we have this 9 to 5 thing that we got to worry about.
I'm not a beach guy. I don't want the sand in me anywhere.
I don't like sand either.
I have more crevices than the average individual, and that's a problem.
That's a top 5 word to me.
Crevice?
It's because it has like so many connotations that you can have fun with.
I can honestly say that
things get in the crevice.
There's a chance I could find some sand from like 1993 somewhere on my body.
And you could put it in a small jar and sell it on eBay and claim it was, this was from Normandy, 1944, June the 6th.
Well, for the sand,
that's a history lesson.
There might have been, their Normandy for the sand.
Here's the
stuck in my body for 20
Here's
years.
the key in any beach situation. Okay, whether you're domestic or abroad, wherever you are, you must, at the very least, have an outlet, little hose, shower, foot to remove the sand, preferably from the feet more than anything else, so then you can continue on with your day after that.
But then the problem is that there's sand that you have to walk on right after that usually, wherever the hose is.
Correct.
A little bit, but there's still enough that it's going to pick
up. But in this
up.
situation, though, like where we have our setup thing happening, like on the shore down here, you don't worry about that because this is on a concrete base already where you're washing the feet off, which is great. Like I said, it's perfected.
Let's get to some audio files.
Do it. Audio files.
The audio file.
That was snug. It was tight.
Right in the crevice. Tight crevice.
Patrick Mahomes is ready to go.
Yeah.
How about this?
Medical science, baby.
To start camp, he is ready to go. Here he is on being back.
When you talk to guys that have kind of had this injury I have, a lot of times you're stronger. I feel stronger than I've ever felt as far as strength and lifting and stuff like that. And so now it's just about getting that quarterback stuff down, that stuff moving in the pocket quick, making those quick movements, reacting and doing stuff like that. And so I feel like I wasn't playing my best football at the end of last year before I got hurt. And so I got to find ways to get better, kind of navigating the pocket, run the offense better. I think this injury helped me kind of focus on those little things as I get back to being who I am.
I am incredibly surprised that he is back for the start of camp because there was a point, and it wasn't all that long ago, where it wasn't particularly clear that he was going to be ready for the start of the season. And here he is already at 100% at the start of camp.
100%. Like, camp season different. Like, the funny thing about it, though, is, like, week 1 is still like an eternity. You know what I mean? Like, September 13th is that first Sunday. That's, like, eons away. But camp is a little surprising.
It is a little surprising that it would be that quick.
When did he hurt it? Was it November or December?
I feel like it was early December. I'm not positive.
Do you remember?
Not positive.
I want to say it was right before the Christmas Day game.
Oh, so it was that late in the year?
I believe so.
Okay.
They were already kind of teetering.
Yeah, no, they were in trouble already.
And then that just kind of put the finishing touch on them.
Exactly. That finished them off.
I don't even freaking remember the game because they were kind of like a non-factor at that point that it was like, enough with them. Like,
it was December 14th. Against the Chargers.
Now, did he get? And he got the surgery right away, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because they were like, "Oh, look at this guy!" Like, forget it. I guess there wasn't a lot of swelling because normally you have to let the swelling subside before they can go in there and.
But like even to that point, the week before against Houston, he had gone 14 of 33 for $160 and 3 interceptions.
It's last year, man. Like they just, look, they were due one of those years.
Yeah.
And the thing that's going to be annoying with them this year is that. It's going to be the Travis Kelce, farewell tour.
I'm going to be very interested in your take on this. And this was from, well, frankly, your show the other day. This was Rich Cimini on the Jets. And the quarterback situation, not in who's going to start. We know Geno's going to start. But who is the backup going to be? Are they going to add a veteran?
Yeah, I think there's a veteran probably on the way at some point. Look, I think they really like Klubnik. I just find it hard to believe that they're going to go into a season where the head coach has to win games this year. 3-14 is not going to cut it again. To leave that all-important number 2 position in the hands of a rookie 4th-round draft pick would seem to me like a pretty big risk.
Are you expecting at some point here in the next few weeks that a veteran quarterback will be here?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Give me a name.
It's hard.
Jimmy G?
No, I don't think Jimmy G's coming here because Jimmy G, if you're Jimmy G at this stage of your career, okay, you've made enough money. You've won championships. You've started in a Super Bowl. You've sought the company of adult entertainers. Right?
Not just sought.
No, there was there was a dessert, I think, to the 5-course meal. 3 or 5, I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Why would you come here? Nothing, and nothing against here, meaning like, why does this situation appeal to you if this is going to be like your final stop? You know what I mean? I think Jimmy G is laying low right now to where, unfortunately, something's going to go down in one of these 32 camps at the quarterback position, to where there's going to be a need for somebody to step in and play like right away. And he wants to spend his final season in the NFL on the field, not on the sidelines.
Here's the list. Russ, who we already know is not playing, at least for the moment.
No, he's CBS.
Yeah, no, exactly. Cooper Rush, Jimmy G, Teddy Bridgewater, John Wolford, Brett Rippon.
Former Jet John Wolford.
Yep. And Jeff Driscoll.
I think you're looking at teams like, for example,
guys who get cut.
Pittsburgh has 4 quarterbacks.
Right.
Philadelphia has 4 quarterbacks. Now, I thought in the offseason, to me, the perfect guy was going to be Andy Dalton because of his affiliation with Frank Reich, the relationship there. And then when he ended up with Philadelphia, I was like, oh, that happened. Maybe there's a chance that Andy Dalton ends up here. Like, that would be the perfect fit for me.
Charles Barkley checking in. A little annoyed the other day that LeBron made his decision on a Friday, so he had to go to work. But this is Chuck on if LeBron wins in Philadelphia.
Well, I think, number one, it would be incredible. But the number one knock on LeBron for older guys like myself has always been, yo, man, you always stacking your team. He stacked it in Miami. He stacked it in Cleveland. He stacked it in L.A. Now he's stacking it in Philly. So that, to me, I'm going to still have the same criticism I've always had. He's always stacked his team.
It's a little unfair, I think, to say stacked in Cleveland. I mean, he took the team his first time around to the finals several times.
I think he means post-2010.
No, I understand. Yeah. But when they won the finals, was that a stacked team? And Kyrie.
And they were top-heavy.
Kevin Love.
Yeah, he had a big 3 basically everywhere he went. That when he says
stacked, that wasn't a top tier big 3.
No, remember Kevin Love was thought of a little bit better back in those days. Kyrie was obviously a top flight player, and then you
hit the biggest shot.
You had the J.R. Smith nonsense. Remember that?
Yep.
Which was the meme like where he forgot how many, or I don't remember what he forgot. Did he forget the clock? The score, the clock, the whatever.
I think it was both.
Interestingly enough, though, by the way, since he's done all this moving around, his second season with all these places he won is when he won the championship. Second year with Miami, second year with the Lakers, second year back with Cleveland.
Aaron Judge was in Philly last night.
Real quick, by the way, one other thing I want to say, Kevin Durant is also guilty of this, and I've said this, I've been critical of KD doing this his whole career. He's just been less successful at it than LeBron. Kevin Durant always tries to go to a place that can win. Like when he got tired, when he went to Brooklyn, and he realized he's never going to win in Brooklyn. And then he's interested in this place. Yeah, he's interested in places where he thinks he can win. Like when he got traded to Phoenix, then he ends up in Houston. But he just doesn't get to the top of the mountain like LeBron does.
No, he does not. He does not.
If you're that great of a player, I always say go to a place like insert any bad team, Memphis, and try to turn them into a winner if you're so good.
Aaron Judge was in Philly last night and actually spoke. Couple of things chimed in about. First of all, any update on your status at the moment?
Nothing new with you as far as...
I got nothing for you. Yep.
I got nothing for you.
I got crickets. I was surprised he even talked.
I know. But he did this a few weeks ago, and he talked about the team and said that they were lacking focus. So, of course, again, he was asked about where the team is at this moment.
Yeah, we got a lot of depth. We got a lot of guys in the minor leagues ready to go. Call it Spencer Jones. We give Dominguez a good run here to see what we can do. But we got a lot of guys who can fill those holes. Can't replace a Bellinger, but we're going to keep doing what we do. That's what you can do as a player. You got to put your team in the best position to give the front office the ability to go out there and get the final pieces. So looking forward to see what happens.
Listen, I'm surprised that he speaks too. I think he's a little softer now, obviously, that they've won more. But I continue to believe that they've got problems on their hands with their incredible lack of offense.
I wonder in the back of his mind, he's never going to come forward and say this, but in the back of his mind, does he have like a target as to when he thinks he could come back? I
don't know.
I know that like it was a lot of nothing there, and it was only like 45 seconds of him talking. Like, I'm just shocked that he even said that much. Because, like, normally, like, an injured player, like, of his stature, like, where was, like, Jason Zillow's normally, like, guarding him, or he's, like, not even there to be seen by the media.
Well, I think it's because it's Judge. I think he spoke a few weeks ago when they were losing, because who else was going to?
Right.
And they almost have to have him do it at that point.
He had, you know what I noticed? He had a very cool, like, throwback, like, Rangers cap on last night. New York Hockey Rangers. Like, old school, like, Centennial logo thing. I thought that was, I haven't seen that. It's pretty cool.
I did not see that, but
I mean,
I'm particularly interested in it either. That's all right.
Hockey season right around the corner. 84 games.
In moments, it's just an absolutely horrific story that has come out this morning. There are just some bizarre stories out of the NFL and college football today. We'll fill you in moments. It's it's Carlin, it's Grassa on ESPN New York.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Orgavattazona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
I had a bit of a moment before that I want to get your take on.
Like this is recently?
Yeah, as in before the show.
Oh, before the show.
There were two things that struck me on the way to the men's room. Well, two things that struck me about my trip to the men's room, one of which was name a random athlete that we will play next hour. But it is also this.
Yeah.
I'm in the men's room, step back from the urinal, headed to go wash my hands.
Okay.
One of the guys from the office walks in, has his AirPods in.
Sure.
Says, hey, Chris, how's it going? I'm like, oh, hey, good. How you doing, right? That was it. Step up to the mirror where the sinks are, 3 sinks.
Yeah.
Reach the hand out, not once, not twice, 3 times in order to draw out any soap from the hand sensor with the soap. Now, I don't particularly care for a soap dispenser that will control the quantity of soap. Now, do I want a pound of soap to wash my hands? Of course not. But do I want more than 2 drops? Yes, I do. You know why? I'm human. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And so, as I am wont to do, and I think you're susceptible to this on occasion, I immediately comment on this. And I just say out loud, I don't really like the way these soap dispensers have guardrails on how much soap I can have.
It's very fair.
Said it that loud.
Yeah.
To one person right next to me. Nothing. Had the AirPods in.
Crickets.
Had already said hello. Nothing. Are you telling me that in a building where the studio is not soundproof,
correct,
that all of a sudden the men's room, which has nothing but stone walls, is then soundproof to the where he couldn't hear me, or he had such an incredibly tight seal on those AirPods that whatever he was listening to, he didn't even catch a hint of me saying something.
This wasn't like the bathroom at Penn Station.
No.
Where it might be a little bit of a raucous atmosphere. You might have your wayward bum that is just nonsense.
That is any port in a storm situation. Get me in, get me the hell out of there. And I've been in that situation before with having to, go take a whiz, so to speak. Why would I say so to speak after go take a whiz? We all know what that is.
Well, I used the restroom during this last break. True story. And you knew this. I said I was going. And then you know who ended up being that foil for me? Ray Dinahan walks in the bathroom as I'm washing my hands, going through the same soap dispenser issue that you were going through. But I don't think we had a conversation because I don't think that the bathroom, as tightly quartered as it is a place for a conversation. Right, Ray? It's a little like you do your business.
But this was not 2 guys divided in a urinal situation. I don't often start conversations there. I don't want to have a conversation at the urinal.
No, this was at the sink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what's wrong with the sink?
Yeah, no, I just gave Dan a
like one of those, and I went back with a that.
But you didn't then follow it up with any kind of a comment.
No, there was no need to.
If he had followed it up with that kind of a comment, would you have completely ignored him and said nothing, even if you had headphones on? Here's my thing. Did I get blown off right there? Or did this person genuinely not hear me?
I think it was an innocent neglection.
So, in other words, you think they genuinely didn't hear me?
Didn't hear you. Here's my thing, too. How captivating was and I said this to you initially when you told me about it before the show, full disclosure. How captivating and compelling was the content in the ear that you couldn't bear to take the earpods out when you arrived into work, much so
I
in
would
the bathroom?
Guess for this particular guy, more music than podcast.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a podcast and you didn't hear me, that's crap. Like, if you're blaring music in your ear to pump you up for the day, okay, maybe I could buy that. I'm sorry. If you're listening to Smartless and Sean Hayes is making a point, you heard my voice, which tends to be a little booming to begin with, over that.
Here's the problem, though, and this is where I don't differentiate between the two. Podcasts you could go back and listen to and pick it up right where you left off at any time.
I'm just talking about volume and what's going on in the background.
Even music, same thing. I'm more consumed with why are they in? Music. You've heard the song before, I'm sure. You can, again, go back and listen to the song 9 million times, whatever you were listening to. Not right there and then in the workplace, in the bathroom, no less.
But again, if a previous acknowledgement had not transpired, I would have said nothing. I would have just let it go.
But they were the initiator.
When he walked in the door, hey, Chris, how you doing? Hey, I'm good. Yeah,
I think if you initiate,
we've bonded over the Knicks a couple of times.
You have to then leave yourself open for a follow-up. If you threw the first shot, you have to then be ready for what's coming back.
But it was only, I would say, 14 to 16 seconds later that I was at the sink and had the difficulty with the soap dispenser.
14 to 16 seconds, though, in that type of a setting, it would be grounds a little bit to say, like, I might move on. Or I think that, like, the dynamic is moving on. Right? Like, we exchange pleasantries, hello, 14 to 16 seconds later, we're on to the next thing in our day. And maybe he thought that there wasn't going to be any sort of an acknowledgement about the soap or the sink or anything like, which I agree with you, by the way. I think it's very sophomoric.
Again,
you would think the wet bandits work here, that we can't sit there and control our own water distribution.
Well, there was a period where we got quite a few emails that a lot of people were doing a lot of, at least causing problems in that room.
Well, you're not supposed to, like, flush the equivalent of beach towels down the toilet either, which some people did.
Like, who's doing that?
People that should be reprimanded. I mean, we're a civilized group here. I'd like to think.
You'd like to think.
I would like to think.
But there are towels that are routinely dropped out of that paper towel dispenser that people don't pick up. You drop a paper towel.
That's a faulty dispenser.
It might be, but if you drop one, even if it's the fault of the dispenser, pick it up.
Can I say something?
I don't disagree. That dispenser's sketchy at best.
Here's the problem with the dispenser, too. You have to be a little bit more wise in how you're filling the dispenser. Like, let's say the dispenser only holds, let's say, 50 towels, or paper towels, whatever. It seems like sometime wants to be a little, like, flippant and maybe try to squeeze about 70 to 75 in there. So then they're all jammed together like this, and when you try to pull out one, you pull out 50.
You know when I hate that? In a napkin dispenser.
Or in a tissue box. When you take a tissue out, and then like 50 of them come out.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And then they rip in half.
Exactly.
Anyway,
this is not brain surgery. Like, people should be able to figure this out.
But I don't look to be offended, and I'm a difficult individual to offend. In that moment, I was just like, really? Blowing me off like a piece of lint. Like, what are we doing?
Have you seen him since?
Yeah, a couple times. But he's a guy that consistently has earbuds in the office.
I got to find out where this guy works, because I would love to work someplace where I could just listen to music podcasts, while I'm at work all day.
It's Grassa, it's Carlin, it's ESPN New York. You're welcome.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
The whole couchcast thing, I don't sign off on this.
Maybe you guys fight to be the biggest football fans.
Nobody wants to see that, though.
Yeah, they do. They want to see you and Peter going at it. When you go to the zoo, you don't want to see the lions just sleeping.
You want to see them throwing feces at each other. That's what it would be.
You want to see them attack something.
The worse things go, the crazier I get.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
You're not a spanker, are you?
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, Yankees fans. Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at Yankees.com/tickets.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Here's the one thing I think is the conundrum for Brian Cashman. If Judge doesn't come back, now doctors reportedly are telling them that he is going to come back. When that's going to be, anybody's guess. But if Judge doesn't come back, by making trades and using collateral to get players back to fill holes, are you throwing good money after bad? I think they can make the playoffs without Judge. I don't think they can win a championship without Judge.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Carlin, Grassa, ESPN New York,
Hello.
800-919-3776, 800-919. ESPN on this Monday. A lot of Yankee talk today based in the fact that Cody Bellinger, is now headed to the DLs on the IL, and the Yankees offense continues to struggle with many injuries there. And another guy that they potentially would have looked at in Shea Langoliers as a catcher from the A's is now done for the year with an injury. There's all that. There's the mess that continues to be the Mets. There's Bryce Harper making some comments, basically speaking out loud the part that we all knew already. And then there's a LeBron to the Sixers situation. What tickles Dan Grassa's fancy to begin the 12 o'clock hour?
Oh, there's a lot of tickling. You kidding me?
You ticklish?
Yeah, I think everybody has their spot or two, right? Little crevice here and there.
Yeah.
Crevice
Again,
is the word of the day.
Many crevices over
Yeah. It's fine. You know, you just brought it up again. We had another example Saturday with the Mets in that national TV game against the Dodgers where run prevention again, the name of the game for the Mets this year, and the brilliance of David Stearns and putting that team together where, you know, earlier in the week in Milwaukee, they stick Brett Beatty, who's a third baseman, you know, in right field. He can't come up with a fly ball that probably a major league outfielder should catch, and that leads to 3 runs being scored, and they lose the game. And then Saturday night, he plays first base, can't make a throw that you expect a first baseman to make, leads to a couple of runs being scored. Alvarez can't catch, just a harmless pitch from Nolan McLean leads to another run being scored. And it's just, again, a reminder of just what a colossal failure this whole year has been.
And by the way, Soto's out for a while.
And we haven't even mentioned that.
Haven't even mentioned it.
The one person that you can at least write in the lineup card, you turn on your set, you turn on the radio to listen to play day in and day out for the Mets. Now you're not going to see him. And what, rightfully so, that is the right, prudent move, is to put him on the shelf. And I even said, if there is even a scintilla of him not being 100% from now to the end of the season, you don't play him. You do not play him, because the last final kick to the you-know-what of any Met fan for the 2026 season will be Juan Soto suffering an injury that will bleed into the 2027 baseball
Translation,
season.
with a calf injury, do not want to see him blow out his Achilles.
And what I didn't know was that, because everybody has 2 calves, right? This is a different...
I don't know, some people look at mine and think I have 4.
Oh, I mean, that's not nice.
No, I've got... No. Calves are spectacular.
Really?
Fat guys, best quality, always calves.
Really?
Because we're doing work without trying to do work.
Bottom heavy, like lifts, lunges, that type of stuff.
But you're doing it every moment of every day. You're carrying all that extra weight. I'm not joking. My calf, people would ask me to sell them my calves if they could.
So if this was like a black market, like, somebody in Thailand needs to get a hold of a calf, you're open for business.
It depends on how the career's going. If it finally falls all apart, as we all expect it to at some point, and if we haven't put enough money away, then my calves can be had for $50,000.
But
Absolutely.
Soto injury was a different calf than the one that cost him time on the IL earlier this year.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know.
There's no point of him playing. There's no point. Across the board, it's been so bad to just watch. I mean, mercifully let it be Freddie Peralta's last start as a Met.
Oh, my God.
I just can't
even the last one, he can't even get to the 5th inning.
Yeah.
Right, he was 5-inning Freddie, now he's 4-inning Freddie.
It's getting worse by the moment. It's the only thing that you are bailed out by is that Sproat and Jet Williams have been terrible, apparently.
Yeah.
And Sproat has not been anything special in the big leagues at all. That's the only thing that David Stearns has helped out by at this point for going and getting his guy. The rest of it is just a complete disaster across the board. But I do understand what they're doing, and we fundamentally disagree on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to ride this out with Stearns, as it appears that Steve Cohen wants to, because he's paying him the amount of money that he did, and he waited as long as he did, I don't have a problem with it for another year. And I know I want it fixed, but I don't want to just throw away all of that money and not have him at least try to fix the problems that he's made. I don't know what my confidence level is right now, but if Theo Epstein's not walking through the door.
And he's not, apparently. Somebody contacted Theo, by the way. I forgot who it was recently, and he's very content in what he's doing now. He's got, piece in the Fenway Sports Group ownership thing. He has no desire to get back into an MLB front office.
And I don't blame him at this point either, because if you're Theo, you've already proven what you have to prove. You have broken 2 curses, and doing it with the Mets does not. It would be great, but it doesn't enhance what you've already established as your legacy overall.
By the way, the Commanders' tight end coach that got let go, you said they just hired him DWI, so that's what led to it.
There you go.
That was his no tolerance.
Just separately,
yeah.
There are just 3 or 4 bizarre stories today. There's that one, the Commanders' tight ends coach who was just hired this offseason. There is just an awful story this morning out of Kansas City involving Eric Bieniemy and his wife and his son.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Bieniemy is the son of Eric and Maria Bieniemy. He has been charged with 3 felonies today: use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, malicious wounding, and discharging a firearm within a building, because he apparently shot his mother, who is now in the hospital and is being treated.
Could you be charged with something that's termed non-malicious wounding? You know what I mean? Isn't that the only kind of wounding that you would be charged with?
Yeah, some of these.
The vernacular is a little weird. With them. It's kind of obvious,
state
right?
laws, but I mean, Eric Bieniemy had gone back to the Chiefs this offseason to be their offensive coordinator, and he was down somewhere else in Missouri in camp with the Chiefs and was not there for this, so he's obviously left camp. And that's a horrible story that's going on.
Terrible.
Mike Lombardi, who is Belichick's right-hand guy at North Carolina, has been placed on administrative leave. He's obviously being accused of doing something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
there's no getting around just dumb and awful stories.
And by the way,
to begin,
what about the news dropped Saturday morning about the Kyle Shanahan car accident?
And the Kyle Shanahan car accident, 40 stitches in the face.
Is, I let's put it this way. We don't know all the facts, and we also don't know all the facts, meaning, it seems a little shady the way that whole thing, in a world and in a society, especially if you are a National Football League head coach of one of the most high-profile teams in the NFL, if, God forbid, you are in an accident, TMZ is going to at least find out about it instead of the whole world sitting on this for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little odd, Bob.
I don't know. It was odd that they were able to keep that quiet that long. It was odd. And we even left out another one. Tony Romo gets a DUI.
An OWI, which I had never heard of before.
Operating while intoxicated?
Yes. I never heard of we have DWI, we know DUI, but I never heard of OWI.
Tony, by the way, in case you were wondering, did back out of a celebrity golf tournament.
Yeah, good. Way to read the room, Tone.
read the room.
I don't know, right. Jim. I don't think I'm going to be able to tee off today.
And look at the mugshot.
Yeah,
you haven't seen the mugshot?
I've seen the mugshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you know what it is? Smarmy. It's a smarmy look he's got in his face.
Unless he was in another universe because he had a little too much fun.
So anyway, point is,
very irresponsible.
There are problems all over the place here today in the league. We were talking about the Mets just a few minutes ago. On the Stearns front, I don't have a problem with bringing him back for next year to try to fix this because I don't know what my definitive answer is otherwise, and at the very least, it'll give me more time to look into that and to figure that out.
I hear what you're saying. But it's gotten to the point, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but it's so bad. Like, it's so bad. And I even said this, I said it to you earlier in the show, like, when you heard him talk on Friday, talking about, they're planning for the trade deadline and what their motives are going to be and all this stuff. Like, be quiet. In a respectful way, like, be quiet. Like, if you're a Met fan, you don't want to hear this guy talk anymore. Like, you've done enough damage. You know what I mean? It's like the guy who burns the house down and then he tries to show up to help with the cleanup project. And you're just like, go away, you've done enough. Like, that's how you kind of feel right now. And I've thrown this out there. Sometimes, like, when you watch the team play still, for those that can even stomach still watching this team play, it's just so bad and at times so inept that I ask you this question. If you want change to happen, don't you almost have to root for absolute rock bottom over the final 55 games or whatever it is? Because even though Steve Cohen gave him the vote of confidence like a month ago, if this thing goes so bad, and the roster is going to get even worse on paper after the deadline when they get rid of even the few functional pieces they have, if they lose between 95 and 100 games and end up with one of like the 2 or 3 worst records in the sport, does Steve Cohen wake up on September 29th or whenever the regular season ends and he looks in the mirror while he's having his coffee or whatever and he goes, we're a freaking embarrassment. I can't put up with this any longer. And then he goes ahead and pulls the plug.
I mean, it really, you talk about bottoming out?
Yes. Like, despite the vote of confidence.
Given what he has said, I don't even know how bad that could look for that to happen.
How about a $380 million payroll, and they might end up with the worst record in the entire sport? How do you justify running it back with anybody? With a 300, if you're the Royals and you have a bad season, okay. If you're the A's and you end up with the worst record, okay. Yeah, you had the second richest payroll in the entire sport coming off of a collapse last year, thinking that at the bare minimum was making the playoffs. To then have the complete polar opposite where you were the worst record and might end up with the number 1 overall pick. It's like when Hugh Jackson was 0-16 with the Browns, and they brought him back for another season.
Yeah.
And then to ultimately fire him early in the next season because it didn't get any better. Like, you knew it wouldn't. That would almost be like the same thing to me.
I understand where you're coming from on it. My only issue is, what is my definitive answer? And I know that's a question that people throw out a lot when you talk about firing people. Right. Well, if it's not him, who is it? And most of the time, when somebody's getting fired, the answer of anybody would be better is a more than fair answer. In this instance, I look at them, and this is not a rip it down to the studs, rebuild the entire thing. this offseason. The things that I'm rooting for moving forward, I'm rooting for Bichette to continue to hit well, whether it's to get traded for the rest of this season, which I don't think will happen. No, I don't know if anybody's going to risk Bichette potentially getting hurt and then he's going to opt in to his contract, or if it's continuing to rip it up for the Mets the rest of the season and opting out of your contract. Whether it's, some of these other guys, the younger pitchers continuing to develop that are not necessarily the David Stern, coming from David Stern with what his drafts have been. I'm more rooting for having some pieces in place for this offseason, because I do think that if you can get away from some of these problems, that they can be solved in somewhat short order.
But the free agent class is not great around Major League Baseball this year. So it's not even a case of going out there and spending money. And for a guy who swung and missed, no pun intended, on virtually every move that was made this past offseason, you're now relying on him to go out there and make trades to try to make this thing better next year and to help them be more competitive. I just don't know where the faith lies.
But here's the thing, Dan. Who am I getting right now? Who am I getting a lot out of in trades in terms of prospects at the moment?
No, I'm talking about even an off-season, like the moves that are going to be made in the offseason. Forget about what's good. It's hit or miss what happens in the next week because you're not selling high. The only guy you're selling high on is Luke Weaver. Let's face it. That's the only guy.
Yeah.
For the most part. So my point is that once you get to the offseason, and if you intend on being competitive in 2027, the free agent crop in baseball in the offseason is not good. You know what I mean? You're not getting Tarek Skubal in all probability. He's going to sign with the Dodgers. Apart from that, though, where are the moves to be made that's going to make this thing better? You're then going to have to rely on the trade market. And this guy did not do a good job when it came to bringing in guys from other teams last offseason.
Listen, I don't love a lot of it, but there are, if I'm going to go with a young staff, would I look at moving Clay Holmes in the offseason where he's got a full season in front of him under contract, and maybe I get a little bit more in return for him that way?
Well, he's going to opt. Remember, he could opt out, so you have to trade him now.
Oh, Holmes can opt out after this year.
He can opt out. So that's why, if they trade him, they're going to have to trade him this week. Now, look, I would be all for bringing him back as a free agent if he's and apparently everything we've heard is that he's receptive to it. He says.
But what does that number look like after he just was hurt for as long as he was?
Well, the fact that he was hurt, I think you could probably get this guy for 3 years, maybe $60 million. I think he would take that. That's fair. You know what I mean? And the thing I'm quick to caution when you can say, move on. You still need starting pitching for next year. Like I said, it's not a great class of free agents. You can't put all your eggs in the Skubal basket. It's probably unlikely.
No, I'm not talking about Skubal necessarily.
They need starting pitching. McLean, Scott, you're still asking a lot. Thornton, you're still asking a lot. Sean Manaea, because he's still under contract, is no better than a 3 or a 4, even when he's at his best. Senga, unfortunately, you still have under contract for another year, but he's not an option. You need capable starters, and that's why, to me, Holmes is a guy that I would look at as an alternative. And you know what's important also about Clay Holmes? We know he could pitch in New York.
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta came here, and guess what we found out about Freddie Peralta?
Can't pitch in New York.
He can't pitch in New York.
I didn't think he was great to begin with. I thought that they were severely overpaying for that.
When they had Brandon Woodruff healthy, I'm talking about Milwaukee, and Corbin Burns healthy, when they were all there together, and Freddie Peralta, Freddie was no better than the number 3. Those other guys, when healthy, were better than him. And that's why, just because he won 17 games last year, remember, wins don't mean anything nowadays in baseball. Just because he had 17 wins and he was as advertised as an ace coming over here, everybody was like, oh, they got the race, they got the race. He wasn't no ace. He wasn't an ace.
I'm looking at them. I'm hoping that Bichette opts out. I'm hoping that there are 2 contracts for next year that I would argue are just absolutely crushing you. Bichette's not crushing you if he's a good player.
Bichette's actually been better of late.
Yes.
Now, certainly, again, this is...
And it's been a while. That's why I'm saying, I almost hope if you can tell me that Bichette can get more than the $85 million he's going to be owed over the 2-year period.
And he hasn't been a butcher at third base either.
No.
Give him credit.
No.
Playing a new position. But this was a guy who, I said it, I thought he would be top 10 in the National League MVP vote this year. I thought he'd be that good. One of the best hitters with runners in scoring position, clutch hitters. The dude hit a 3-run homer off of Shohei Ohtani in Game 7 of the World Series last year. Like, this dude, like, was fit for the big stage and the bright lights. It just hasn't happened.
The two contracts to me that are absolutely destroying them, and you may not look at the number and think that it's the case, is Minaya and Polanco. Manaya's making $22 next year. That was a 3-year, $75 million contract off of 1 year. And that was a terrible decision by Stearns. And then Polanco, I don't even have to detail.
And Polanco's only a freaking 2-year deal, too, which is crazy.
But it's still the 20 next year is still killing it. Like, to me.
And Senga.
Senga, too. Absolutely. But that wasn't
him.
Stearns.
No.
Who did that. And Senga's $15 million. You want to kill him on Semien? You were going to be paying Nimmo more, but at least you'd be getting more out of Nimmo.
Devin Williams, that's another good one, Joseph. 3 more after this.
You know what? Never mind. That's why
I said
this guy stinks. Get him out.
That's why I said Mason Miller. If they could somehow get Mason Miller, you know what? You got money. Make Devin Williams your 8th inning guy. And remember, they signed Devin Williams still with the intent and the hope that they would be able to re-sign Edwin Diaz. Because remember, that was always the talk, and Devin Williams was like, no, I told him I'd be cool if I was the 8th inning guy, hoping that Diaz would stay and be your closer.
Yeah, and that didn't work out. How about Sam in Bayonne on ESPN New York? Sam, what's going on? How are you?
As a Mets fan, I've been way better. I don't think we've ever been worse. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Graza, I agree with you 100% on literally everything that you just said. The one thing that I would like to add why me as a fan and the fans that I associate with on a daily basis are just so done with Stearns. The move that angers me more than anything else is firing Jeremy Hefner, especially when you're supposed to be a team that's based on young pitching that's coming up. Letting him go and then him signing with Atlanta was just like another slap in the face. So to answer your concern, Carlin, I think you have a legitimate point in the sense that it's so late. How are you going to find another GM, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? My answer is having that seat empty is better than having Stearns in it. I don't trust him to make literally. You could go get Ralph Wiggum, and he would do a better job than this guy. He is the worst thing that I've seen.
It's addition. So what you're saying is
he invented baseball.
Addition by subtraction is what you're saying.
1,000%. See, you're right again. Like you can hear it about Carlin. We speak a lot over the Mets for the last, and Braza, you and I as well. Like I've been a fan for a long time, and we've seen a lot of bad times. But this one, you got to chalk up as the worst season because the expectations once again were high with a high payroll. We all the baseball people knew that this was a poor team that they put together, but we still had the hope that it's a new year. But then you add the soap opera of Lindor and Soto on top of it. I might have to call Don LaGreca on Friday to ask if I'm a fraud because I want out at this point.
It's not that you want out.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the time.
Sam, thanks for the call. And you know, I brought this up, and I know the losing has a lot to do with it. But just to be fair, like there were quote-unquote winning teams over the years that I wasn't a fan of, just like the composition and the makeup of a particular year's team. Right? This team, though, is one of the most unlikable, like, just unappealing collection of players that have ever worn that uniform. But the losing has a lot to do with it. But, like, you know, there's no heart, there's no fight, there's no fire, just inept baseball, lazy at times, you know, the defensive miscues. It's just like
the defense you just can't even watch anymore.
It's like Bad News Bears. It really is. There's no excuse for that. Like I'd
rather have Timmy Lupus in a couple of positions than, especially at first base. And he was an outfielder by trade.
You know what I always wondered about him? Like when you're creating the character, is there any other like last name you could have came up with?
Lupus?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a debilitating disease.
It's a fatal disease in some cases, and that's when I
spelled it 2 O's, I believe.
I don't remember the spelling, but I'll never because of my age at the time. I knew of the character lupus before I knew of the affliction, and then once I got wind of the affliction, I said, "Well, wait a sec. You mean like the Bad News Bear? Like how could they do that to him?
Like Steve Cancer? Like why would you do that?
Right?
Yeah."
Like,
that's a fair point.
You remember that movie with that character, Johnny HIV? No, I don't either. Because they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
Not ideal. listen, it's fair. It's a fair criticism. Honestly, hadn't really concerned myself with it that much. I don't know why. I don't know what that says about me. Probably nothing good. But sure, for the character,
I like to think about those type of
at
things.
least it's fictional.
It was fictional. But
you were bothered by the fact that in the open of the Hogan family, circa 1988, that Jason Bateman, in the opening credits, as he scores a goal in hockey, sans mask and then skates up to the camera to smile and have his name Jason Bateman come across the bottom of the screen, that he was not breaking a sweat. This was something that you actually came into the studio today said, we got something to discuss.
Well, if you remember, you remember the Bad News Bears sequel, which I think
Which one, the Japan one or the one at the Astrodome?
Breaking Training, the Astrodome.
Yeah.
I saw that one before I saw the original. So how does that movie begin? Lupus is in like a hospital bed.
Yeah.
So again, like you put the connection.
Again.
That the guys, you named him lupus, which is a fatal disease, and he's like 10 years old. He's in a freaking hospital bed.
And he broken a leg.
And he broke
his arm.
It's to the point where he can't travel with the team. The whole team is going to his house to give him like get well cards. Hell, it might even been like a hospice care facility for a 10-year-old.
Well, come on, man. Kelly Leak is driving a van all the way down to Houston. What are we talking about here?
But you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like they painted this like dire picture. And as a kid, you're watching this, and I'm like, oh, my God, my mind is playing so many games on me right now. I'm 7 years old or whatever seeing that for the first time.
Cesar Brazil.
Yeah. From Rio?
Cesar Brazil, NY, so I assume from New York, checking in on the chat. I gave a seminar at Columbia about lupus. I'm assuming he does not mean Timmy Lupus. I'm assuming he means...
I would like to think that Columbia, being their academic standards, do not have electives that center around the Bad News Bears.
Fair.
Because if he did, I'm joining up for a summer course like tomorrow. That's an easy 3 credits.
Listen, you're never gonna beat the original Bad News Bears.
One?
Even though I enjoyed the let them play, Bob Watson starting a chant at the Houston Astrodome.
Bob Watson.
Along with whoever that guy was. Is that Bill Holden, William Holden, who played the father of, or the uncle of Kelly Leak or whoever? It was Kelly Leak's father.
That was his father.
Was it William Holden?
Devane.
William Devane. I get those guys confused.
Yeah. Knott's Landing.
Billy Devane.
And now he does like infomercials or commercials for like gold. I buy gold. You know what? The banks are going to go to hell, but I got gold, so I'm good to go. Like he's a pirate.
Trust me.
Load
Kelly
up
Leak's
on your
father.
gold. That was such an odd arc, right? The storyline.
Who was the other? Was it Omar Moreno? Was he? No, he wasn't.
Cesar
an Astro.
Cedeno.
Cesar Cedeno.
Close.
Wow.
Whatever goes.
Best game I ever saw pitched.
Yeah.
Gooden Tudor. Dad took me there in '85 in September. Mets Cardinals going down the stretch.
That was when Cardinals
scoreless for 9 innings.
Remember when pitchers used to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two of them going back and forth for 9 innings. They took Gooden out, brought in a Roscoe.
Yep.
Gave up a solo home run to Cesar Cedeno. And then Tudor pitched the 10th.
John Tudor was one of those guys that if you looked at him, you would think probably the least imposing figure. But yet
he was unhittable.
He was
with the
unhittable
Cardinals
in 1985.
Oh, my God.
Unhittable. He was like Mike Scott in 1986 for the Astros.
Carlin, Grassa, ESPN New York in moments. Thought of this game this morning. We're going to play it every day this week. What do guys love doing?
Yeah.
Raiming.
I love this.
Raiming. Guys love. That really did not sound good. Guys love naming random athletes. And so Ray Dinahan will give us a team a la, give me the 1987 Yankees.
That's what we're doing?
I'm not saying there is a specific team.
Yet. Okay.
He's going to throw it at us. I have no idea what's up
We got to close
Ray's
the
sleeve.
computers. We got to close all that stuff. No cheating in this game.
Exactly.
Yep.
And we go back and forth.
Love it.
Have you got the ding and the buzzer? I'm just taking us through all of the machinations, taking you all behind the scenes of the production right now, ready to go. Okay.
By the way, Daniel Jones fully cleared for the Colts.
Now I can get to sleep.
No, that's big for the Jets. They got their pick.
Oh, that's a great point.
Colts, that's going to be the meal ticket this year, baby.
That's a great point.
Bad Colts season.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Carlin, Grassa, ESPN New York.
The summer of soccer is heating up with Red Bull New York. Join the Red Bulls on Saturday, August 1st as they take on Orlando City SC at Sports Illustrated Stadium. It's Hometown Heroes Night, celebrating the first responders, community leaders, and everyday heroes who make a difference across our communities. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m., but the fun starts at 4 p.m. on the Boulevard with 3 hours of pregame entertainment. Get your tickets today at NewYorkRedBulls.com.
We are moving now.
Electric bikes are everywhere. They are quiet and very fast. Teens ride them on the roads, in bike lanes, but also in places they should not be, like sidewalks and parks.
Look out!
When you ride, wear a helmet. Don't speed. Watch out for pedestrians and cars. New York State and your community have specific rules for electric bikes. Follow them. Go to trafficsafety.ny.gov for more info. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. At Rings End, they're there to help realize your modern design visions. That's why they partner with Marvin. Engineered for big ideas, Marvin modern windows and doors deliver effortless elegance, expansive views, and industry-leading innovation, all in a modular system designed to meet the exacting principles of modern architecture. Experience Marvin Modern at a Rings End showroom today and create something stunning with them. Rings End is a certified Marvin installing retailer.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
When you tell someone what team you cheer for, do they apologize? Does your first childhood memory involve crying on a Jumbotron? Then you may be a fan of a BST or bad sports team. Luckily, when you bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive, you're protected from things like fire damage caused by violently unplugging the TV. Or an accidental overhand left to the drywall. Visit Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Covered subject to policy terms. Not available in all states or situations.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Listen, camp opens next couple of days. Dan is a guy that enjoys obscure things. And I think people in general...
Do I, though? Obscure things?
You just spent 10 minutes this morning on an open of the Hogan family.
Well, when you say obscure things, people are going to think like, a salamander with 3 heads is up
right, that's
my
not what
alley.
I'm talking about.
That does nothing for me.
No. What I think people enjoy is just naming players. I figured out sports radio after 20-plus year career.
Yeah.
That's it. All people like doing is naming players from younger, very obscure. The more obscure, the better.
Right. The World League of American Football,
Exactly.
1991. Go.
So here's the point.
Okay.
Dan and I, each day this week, are going to play a little game.
I love this, by the way. Like, you've done some really, genius things. This might be right up there.
Say that again. What?
We have imaging for this.
We have imaging for this? Wow.
This is great.
Is
Is this happening now?
Yes.
All right, I'm closing the computer.
Close the computer. Close the laptop.
Done.
The iPad. Let's go. This is Ray Dinahan is going to pick a team.
I can't wait for the imaging.
Just to be clear, from the mid 80s on.
The imaging is going to be great because obviously, this just happened. So that's sometimes where the genius lies.
It's got to be the top level stuff.
Yeah.
They farmed this out immediately to all of our voice experts.
Brownshire's door was completely closed. Could not even get. There was even crime scene tape and for that. They could not be disturbed.
You know what? Let's get to the imaging. Let's hear it.
Oh, remember that guy from the team? Let's name him.
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
That's exactly what it is. Oh. So Ray Dinahan will give us a team from a particular year in the tri-state area, and we will have to name obscure players from that roster. We both get 3 strikes.
Oh, yeah, I got to write them down. I don't want to. We can't double.
Yeah. So if we mention them and you double up, that's a strike.
Yes.
If you can't come up with an answer in how long? 10 seconds? Is 10 seconds fair?
Yeah, this isn't Stump Rothenberg.
Okay. Where they take a half an hour and then Rick gives them the answer?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That whole thing, I've been looking to, you know what, Ray? I've been looking to blow the lid off that sham for years of what is Stump Rothenberg. My record is 138-4.
Well, I think what we just did from an integrity standpoint right before our little game, I think tells you all you need to know.
If I had 24 hours, I'd win Jeopardy also.
So the record is...
And a computer.
So you get 10 seconds to name one.
Yeah.
If you double up, that's a strike. And obviously, if the guy that you mentioned was not on that team, it's a strike.
So you double up, obviously not on the team. Those are strikes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ray, my question to you would simply be this. What obscure team are we going to be naming players from?
Well, the Yankees are desperate to win another World Series. So I dialed it back to another time they were desperate to win a World Series and did, and chose the 1996 New York Mets.
The 1996 New York Mets.
All right, so let's think. Where was I in life? Oh, my God.
I know where I was just out of college. I was interning at WFAN or just starting to work part-time there. Doing overnights. Not on the air, off.
Not a great team that night. 1990. Okay.
The 1996 New York Mets. All right. You want to flip a coin, see who goes first? How about this? Go first.
I don't even have a coin.
You can go first.
1996, that was the rookie season, and I was actually at his first ever game against the Cardinals on opening day of a certain shortstop named Ray Ordonez.
I, too, was at that game.
Rainy that day, remember?
Yes, dancing in the rain. Well, not the rain dancing around me as Ordonez threw out, I believe, Ray Lankford at the plate from his knees down the left field line. Give me a little Bernard Gilkey. Bernard Gilkey.
It's a good pull.
Okay.
It's a good pull. Good pull.
Just trying to remember everybody that played that day.
Do you know what happened later that night at the Meadowlands, by the way?
Was that the Jet Miracle?
No, this was April we're talking about.
Oh, April. What am I saying?
That was the... That was
I know, was it the Trotters?
Kentucky over...
John Campbell?
Kentucky over Syracuse in the championship game.
Oh, that's a shame Syracuse lost.
John Wallace led Syracuse.
Yep.
Our friend John Wallace. All right, so he has Bernard Gilkey. I'm going to go with John Olerud.
Was John Olerud on the 96 Mets? Was John Olerud on the 96 Mets?
No, I'm wrong.
Oh!
Strike.
Oh!
Strike. That's right.
Strike
He
one.
Came in 97.
Was John Olerud? Olerud was not on the 96 Mets. Okay. 96 Mets. Let's see. Clock's ticking away on me here. I got to come up with something for pizza. Lance Johnson. Give me Lance Johnson.
That's a good pull. That's a good pull. I'm going to go with Todrick Hundley.
Todd Hundley.
Yeah.
Todd Hundley. Okay. Second baseman, first baseman, 6 minutes. Dan's got one strike. Whew. Clock's ticking. Crap. I got nothing. Nothing.
That's a strike?
That's a strike on me.
Strike one. How about Bobby Jones?
Bobby Jones. Clarify which Bobby Jones.
That is Bobby J. Jones.
The right-hander.
The righty, yes, sir.
Okay. Bobby Jones. Okay. Did he start opening day that year?
Might have.
Might have. Okay. Let's see. How about Turk Wendell? Was Turk Wendell on the 96 Mets? He might not have been.
That's two strikes.
Crap.
How about Jonathan Franco?
Oh, that's
Go to standby there.
yeah. Leiter wasn't there yet. Ooh. Would have been closing. Well, obviously Franco. Yeah, what am I saying? God, I'm doing terrible in this.
It's an obscure team.
Well, I know, but I feel like I pride myself in being better than this.
And you have two strikes?
I have two strikes. I'm about to lose. Crap. I got nothing. Nothing.
He's out? My next guess would have been Edgardo Alfonso.
Was he there in 96 yet?
Yeah, he was a pup.
Alfonso? Okay.
So that's it? Game over?
Game over.
You're forgetting a guy very dear to your heart.
Mookie was not on that team.
Butch Husky.
Oh, Butch Husky. You know what? Was that the year where he hit like 15 home runs in the spring?
In spring training? Yeah.
How did I not get Butch Husky at first base?
Number 42.
Oh, my God. What a terrible job. That was a...
Was there a Greg McMichael sighting
That was a
96?
blank, poor performance by me on day one. That was horrible.
96 was weird because it was like that.
Don't make mistakes. Don't make excuses for me.
No, it was tough for me too. I don't have the. I normally could just rattle through those, like the teams that I rooted for.
Now I have to take a look and name some of the guys that I didn't get.
Like Tim Bogar.
Jeff Kent.
I was going to go
Jeff Kent. I should have gotten Jeff Kent.
Jeff Kent was traded that year for Carlos Baerga.
That's
Jose
right.
Vizcaíno.
He was still there in 96?
Yeah, he was playing second base. Alex Ochoa.
Oh, Alex Ochoa.
Oh, my God. How did I not get Carl Everett or Rico Bronya? Terrible.
Carlos Baerga
later in the year, so that would have worked. Castillo, I had him on the tip of my tongue.
Castillo.
Alberto Castillo, the backup catcher.
Yeah.
Bogar. Roberto Pettagini.
Oh, my God.
Paul Bird. Mark Clark. Oh, and this one, Mark Clark. Oh, Pete Harnish. How did I not get Pete Harnish or Izzy or Wilson?
Long Island guy.
Horrible.
Oh, that's right.
I suck.
Izzy and Pulse.
Oh, my God.
Like I said, it was a weird year, 96.
The other Pedro Martinez. Was it Blaze Minor or Blas?
Blas Minor, that's
Blas
right.
Minor.
Oh, my God, Blas Minor.
Paul Bird. Doug Henry. And then this one I absolutely should have gotten. Both of us should have gotten.
Was there a Mauro Gazzo? Was that a 96?
No. There was a Dave Malicki. That one we got to get.
The next year, he had the Dave Malicki game.
The Dave Malicki game, exactly. Terrible.
Like I said, it was an obscure team because it wasn't a very good team.
But this is the point. But
But that was also, was that the year also that Dallas Green got fired midway through the season and then Bobby V took over? Okay.
Yeah, it was. along with Bob Apodaca.
That's right. Bob Apodaca.
God, why did I suggest this game? I just feel miserable about myself now.
Can I hear the imaging one more time?
That's horrible.
Oh, remember that guy from the team? Let's name him.
Oh,
See, that's funny.
Yeah,
This should be the show.
I went back,
the show.
and I just went back and looked at like all the comments here from the chat, and they're just firing away on names. Just firing
well, it's
away.
easy when you're sitting there.
Oh my God, Jose Vizcaíno! How did you not get that? There's Bobby M. Jones and Bobby J. Jones. Bobby M. Jones, the lefty.
Was he there in '96 too?
No, M. Jones was not there.
No,
M. Jones was, I think, like a '99 or a 2000 guy when he showed up.
Oh my God.
With Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. He was just Pat.
He was Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's funny. I had him, and it's actually not so funny now. I had him on the show when I was filling in for Greeny.
Okay.
And it was during the football season 3-4 years ago. And we're talking to him, and and then toward the end, Bubba Peregrine from ESPN Radio, huge Met fan, just said to me in my ear, if you don't ask him why he gave up a grand slam against the Cubs on this day in 1998, and what happened, and he just blew the game, you're a loser, and not a journalist. And so I asked him. He said, well, they told me I wasn't pitching the next day, so I went out and had a few the night before. Like, oh, okay. And, of course, a couple years later, that got a little more awkward.
Turns out it was funny at the time, but wasn't funny in the long run.
Carlin, Grassa, ESPN New York.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Tricon Construction is growing across New Jersey, delivering larger, more complex commercial projects with the precision today's developers expect. Because when the timelines, capital, and reputation are all on the line, you need more than a contractor. You need a true construction partner. Tricon brings experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team built around accountability and execution. From planning to completion, they build with purpose, professionalism, and pride. For serious commercial projects, build with Tricon. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
Rich Eisen here. Running a small business means every hire matters. A bad hire costs time and money, but the right one helps your business grow. The challenge? Finding that person without sorting through resumes. That's where LinkedIn Hiring Pro comes in. It screens candidates so you can focus on conversations with qualified talent. With Hiring Pro, you can hire with confidence and build the team you need. Join the 2.7 million small businesses using LinkedIn to hire. Get started by posting your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen. Terms and conditions apply. It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one, 50% off windows and doors, and no payments, no interest for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See local showroom for details. Offer ends July 31st, 2026.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
There's going to be some digging here on this Kyle Shanahan story, unfortunately.
No, I think the digging has begun.
Yeah. The Palo Alto Police Department. So for those of you who missed it, Kyle Shanahan had the horrible car accident about 12 days ago in which he sustained injuries where Chris Sims just reported that he was, quote, this close to losing his right eye. He had a concussion, a broken nose, hand, ribs, 40 stitches in his face when his car collided with an SUV in Palo Alto. The Palo Alto Police Department put out a statement saying there will be no further information released on who was at fault in the accident. That seems a bit
vague.
Yeah. Bit odd.
And why and why would you then go ahead and take it the extra mile and say we're not releasing any more information? It's like no questions asked. You will take what we say and you will deal with it.
Yeah.
Like dude, you're making this worse. And when you tell people things like that, like investigative minds and outlets, they're just going to dig deeper.
Yeah.
And investigate further and pry even more. I give it till Thursday before TMZ has something more.
Have we learned nothing about stories that you just try to shoo away or cover up these days?
The Mike Vrabel thing, right? Like even the principals came out and said there was nothing to it. And then 2 days later, there was a whole slew of pictures, this, that, and everything else. Like,
and I obviously don't need Mike Vrabel the other day coming out with a puppy in his hands at his first press conference.
I mean, come on.
Like, what are we doing? Was it a real puppy?
It looked fake.
You think it was a fake puppy?
It might be a fake puppy.
You could bring a puppy into any situation, and then that is your, shield.
Are you a dog guy or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Not a cat guy.
I got an issue on right now.
Why?
Our dog is as sweet as can be to us. My nephew was visiting this weekend.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Attack?
No, but, the dog does not let people come in the house. This is our house. Now, we adopted her a few months ago. She's a little over 2 years old, and in every way is as sweet as can be. And if you meet her outside, she's fine.
Yeah.
If she's on the leash, she'll go nuts when she sees another dog. But if she's off the leash, took her to the dog park yesterday, she's a socialite, dancing around with every dog, playing with every dog, no growling, no nothing, meeting every person out there. There's people from our neighborhood who she previously had gone nuts at because of their dog, and she's playing with the dogs yesterday in the dog park. Nothing. But my nephew, who is 6'3", he's 26, was visiting for a couple of days, and is a gentle giant in every way. Soft-spoken, all that.
Like George Murasan.
No, not that tall, 6'3".
No, he's a gentle giant.
Well, all right, but he's not Georgie Murasan.
I just wanted to throw his name into the universe because I don't think anybody has in 20 years.
I'm sorry. Were we not going to have the 97 Wizards tomorrow as our team?
Did you ever sit through that movie from
My
start
Giants?
to finish?
My Giants? Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't think I could. It was that bad.
Back in the day, I'm sure that I did. It was Billy Crystal, correct? Yeah. The dog is just like, will not stop barking at him and barking, like, aggressively at him. And I don't think it's a man thing. I don't think it's, like some dogs just don't like men.
They say that dogs have a great read on people. Like, they could kind of sense.
You knew this kid, you'd be like, what?
Maybe he's something that you don't think
because
he is.
It's other family members, too. It's other people who have come to the house. Not many people have come to the house, and this is a problem, and it's specifically in our house. Like, she met him out on the street, no problem. Oh, yeah, hey, how you doing?
Does he run maybe like an illegal cockfighting operation that you're just not aware of? And maybe the dog knows these things? Like, this guy's up to no good.
This guy, as Frank Costanza would say, this guy.
Maybe he's Edwin Diaz.
This is not my kind of guy.
The dog's trying to pull you aside. Like, look, I'm concerned about this one.
She is just not letting it go.
Is he still there now?
No, he just left this morning. He left this morning.
And
but, we had to board her the other night and he was totally fine with it. Like, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He's not one of these guys that's afraid of dogs.
Yeah.
But, did the same thing with my brother and sister-in-law.
Oh, she was like this with them too?
Yeah. Like a few weeks back. Like, it's just, it was bizarre. Now, I'm sure that she had something in her history, in her past that is shaping this, but I'm.
Probably had a bad experience with humans.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. The dog runs the freaking house now. So
the dog, usually that's the way it works.
The Yankees are continuing to go back to the Seinfeld mine and taking out every little piece of gold that they can. What got announced this morning?
The Seinfeld night for the Yankees this year will be August 27th, Thursday, August 27th. First 18,000 receive a George Costanza calzone bobblehead. And the picture is priceless. George,
is it a picture? Is it a stand of George with a calzone in one hand and faking a tipping in the other? No, it's just the calzone.
It's amazing.
It's just the calzone.
Last year they had the Costanza sleeping under the desk bobblehead, which was extremely popular, and this one probably will be just the same.
I would rather have the one sleeping under the desk.
Yeah, that seems like more of a rarity, right?
How much do you think that goes for right now on eBay?
Easy $100.
It has to be, right?
Because it's rare. People were lined up around the block for that thing the night that they gave it out.
$165
on eBay right now. Wow,
look at how great that is, though.
That's fantastic.
But this calzone one's going to be the same way, just because it's where else are you getting this?
I mean, it's going to be endless for them. They can have Seinfeld nights and bobblehead nights for the next 100 years without a problem.
Because you could be a Seinfeld fan, and there's a lot of them, who's not a Yankee fan, and you want this thing.
It could be nights where they're giving away a Titleist golf ball.
Is that a Titleist? Oh, so
everybody! Every oceanographer and marine biologist gets half off.
You excited about the baseball tonight for either one of these teams?
I mean,
certainly not the Mets, but
not for the Mets.
Hey,
Zach, by the way, Acuna's coming back too for the Braves. Yeah. That's awesome.
Atlanta Mets. We know how that usually goes.
Excited's not the word.
Max Fried tonight, right? Second start back in Chicago against another first place team, even though they don't seem it.
Here's the thing about Fried and all of this. I want to believe what you have been preaching, and I've been preaching it too, but I'm having more and more trouble with it by the day. Just continue to load up on your pitching and try to rely on that to beat teams a different way if you're not going to be able to hit. But it's at some point, you have to actually be able to score a run to win a game. So that's where my issue is with it right now. And my faith level after the Bellinger injury is exceptionally limited.
I'm curious to see what he gets stretched to workload-wise, because it was 57 last game, so we'll see how.
And that was inefficient. I mean, he got through 5 innings.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Terrific.
So, I mean, it would be amazing if it was as efficient tonight, but
you think that number's probably in the 70s?
I would like to think so.
Well, it's just because that was supposed to be the rehab start.
Last time he threw more than 60 pitches in a major league game, May 8th. May 8th.
May 8th.
Yeah. A lot of it was on the shelf, understandably so, but
the K-Stir is back.
He's back. Well,
He's back.
I mean, you know what? He's the guy that's going to have those answers for you.
He's going to be talking about it, and plenty of it. Michael K. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg later this afternoon. Carlin, Grassa, ESPN New York. That's interesting.
Of course it is.
You ever get on a horse before?
No. Didn't want to kill it.
Summer's here. People are outside walking more, traveling, going to games, barbecues, the beach, just enjoying life. But if you have joint pain, sciatica, or back pain and still holding you back, you don't have to live like that. I'm Bart Scott.